free, but FaZe clan members inside that hedge waiting, raining connector now. To deal with JW, absolute flash comes in, that's perfect. The teamwork now is starting to come online for FaZe. That's
what we like to see here. The alley-oop from Nico sets up Rain, sets up Rain, headshot the JW as well. Elusive players at this point, and they have focused the pace as well. You can see the pace as well. Inside, Brokey inside, but without the AWP, joined by Nico, rotating in. Rain arriving too. So their execution is going like from long, you'll see them split long, you'll see them split like bang, maybe it's the mouth vlog as well. Looking for that first pick, going to that first pick over here, jumping the far back here. He's really to address that, up he goes. Flat, I thought that was a smoke coming in, that would have been sick. Roll by second, still get a smoke down here. Long, that'd be great. I think he's using it the other side. Spotting them now, Rainbows are coming.
Yeah, that's a lot of information. He actually flashes off the floor to try and delay them even more. 20 seconds and Nico's already cut down one. On the cross, missed shot by Brokey could really be a problem because Golden is going to get that bomb down, or is he? Actually could be contested quite heavily from that bank position. It's Brokey on the bins, Coldzera into the site. Golden in a 1 versus 3. Does tidily find the first, a close tap, but not enough. And FaZe Clan will make it 4. They're keeping this manageable at least if they can get the 6.
Important plant there from Golden. That's going to give enough money to allow the buy for everybody on Fnatic here. They get the $2,400 loss bonus plus the $800 from the plant across the board. That's going to give everybody the liberties to buy almost all the goodies that they like. And then next round, even if they lose this one, they get $2,900. So from here into the end of the game, Fnatic continue to be threatening. They're never going to bottom out with that loss bonus of $1,400. This is very good signs for Fnatic here to potentially still get into double digits within the first half.
It's going to be a tactical timeout at this point. The first used by Fnatic, the wind started to be removed from their sails somewhat. FaZe coming online, this one brought to you by the US Air Force. We are going to see a buy available for Fnatic here as the loss bonus starting to rack up at 4th stage at this point. We thought it would be a blowout, to be honest with you, Alex. We were coming into this last few rounds, it didn't look like FaZe had anything to say, but as Chad mentioned, the teamwork's starting to come online now. Some of those coordinated maneuvers towards connector. Rain's not missing shots in the back of a planting player. There's good positive signs here.
Good energy.
Yeah. So look at that flashback. You can't ask much more than that.
I test, again, not statistically driven. I think Nico's been leading in a lot of those effective flashbangs. I think he's certainly been a high flyer in the support he's been providing with his flashbangs. A lot. One in long is, of course, at the tip of my belt.
Here we go.
Okay. Nico wants to level the odds early. Quick frag, and it's on Brolan. That's quite the scalp to take, considering the map and the team. More of their Krieg genius, and Brokey's managed to catch JW's toilet antics. Rain bringing the fight. FaZe finding the answer is aggression to the Fnatic team side.
Just about gets away as well there. They're spamming towards that connector. It is a 4-on-2 in favor of FaZe. Flasher and Golden. Time is running out, so is their economy. This could be a 9-6 half. What a turnaround from FaZe. I thought they were done for, but maybe they still are. Golden. Great shot towards Olaf Meister, and they have a minute to work with. It's going to slow the game right down.
Nico wants to level the odds early. Quick frag, and it's on Brolan. That's quite the scalp to take, considering the map and the team.
I should say, sorry.
More of their No, the patience. Flusher, the patience of a saint. He waits it out and Rangers comes on back. He gets a little too anxious. Coldzera, however, his aggressive stance is going to completely catch them unawares. We've seen this work so well from Almeza in the past. Now it's Golden on the side. Does catch the Brokey drop. That was such a risk. With the P250 though, he saved today.
I'm not sure what he's up to there, to be honest with you, but I like it.
I love it.
Leaping out of heaven with an orb. I know where he is. Oh my lord.
I want to be one of those counter-struggles.
I guess he's just thinking that he doesn't want his teeammate to go down.
The patience of a saint.
So at least if he jumps out there, even if he goes down there, Coldzera will get a little too anxious.
Coldzera, however,
if that makes sense.
his aggressive stance is going to completely catch them unawares. We've seen this work so well from Almeza in the past. Now it's Golden. The side does catch the Brokey drop. That was such a risk with the P260 that we saved today.
I'm not sure what he's up to already. I
love it.
Everything else happened with the ball. I know where he is.
I want to be one of those guys.
Oh, the patience. Flush and the patience of insane. Short flashes, but FaZe are playing so passive. That should give them an advantage because they're nowhere near the ball. Torres is starting to bring in the smoke. He could have done so well. The side does have the broken drop. That was such a risk. With the P260 that we saved today. That's in trouble. I love it. Everything else that broken sword. I know where he is. The advance goal most of the game. I want to be one of those guys. Oh, the patience. Flush and the patience of insane. Short flash, but FaZe are playing so passive. He can give them an advantage because they're nowhere near the ball. Torres is starting to take a lot of the bring in the smoke. He could have done so well there. Side does have the broken drop. That was such a risk. Like back fire. The P260 that we saved today. That's in trouble. I love it. Everything else that broken sword. I know where he is. The advance goal most of the game. I want to be one of those guys. Oh, the patience. Flush and the patience of insane. Short flash, but FaZe are playing so passive. He can give them an advantage because they're nowhere near the ball. Torres is starting to take a lot of the bring in the smoke. He could have done so well there. Side does have the broken drop. That was such a risk. Like back fire. The P260 that we saved today. That's in trouble. I love it. Everything else that broken sword. I know where he is. I want to be one of those guys. Oh, the patience. Flush and the patience of insane. Short flash, but FaZe are playing so passive. He can give them an advantage because they're nowhere near the ball. Torres is starting to take a lot of the bring in the smoke. He could have done so well there. Side does have the broken drop. That was such a risk. Like back fire. That's in trouble. I love it. Everything else that broken sword. I know where he is. I want to be one of those guys. Oh, the patience. Flush and the patience of insane. Short flash, but FaZe are playing so passive. He can give them an advantage because they're nowhere near the ball. Torres is starting to take a lot of the bring in the smoke. He could have done so well there. Side does have the broken drop. That was such a risk. Like back fire. That's in trouble. I love it. Everything else that broken sword. I know where he is. I want to be one of those guys. Oh, the patience. Flush and the patience of insane. Short flash, but FaZe are playing so passive. He can give them an advantage because they're nowhere near the ball. Torres is starting to take a lot of the bring in the smoke. He could have done so well there. Side does have the broken drop. That was such a risk. Like back fire. That's in trouble. I love it. Everything else that broken sword. I know where he is. I want to be one of those guys. Oh, the patience. Flush and the patience of insane. Short flash, but FaZe are playing so passive. He can give them an advantage because they're nowhere near the ball. Torres is starting to take a lot of the bring in the smoke. He could have done so well there. Side does have the broken drop. That was such a risk. Like back fire. That's in trouble. I love it. Everything else that broken sword. We've seen a fantastic turnaround from Fnatic, and Flusher a big part of it. You can see his ADR on the half is absurd, even higher than some of the high flyers from FaZe in their Mirage win that put them 1-0 in this series. It's the opening game of Stage 2. We've completely reset the round robin. We're starting all over from the start, and if anything we learned over the course of our opening stage, Chad and Henry, we learned that every game matters, every round matters, and losing to those just one round somewhere in that first half can have huge ramifications into the second.
Yeah, the landscape of this group at this point is unbelievable. The team names in there, there are no wild cards, there are no weaker opponents. Everyone's at a world-class level and looking to perform, and FaZe going to have to do just that in the second half. They had a slow start in their CT affair, and this is their first goal for Brokey. That's not bad. The drop can do enough now, looking for a triple. The hat trick doesn't come through, but the third kill will. It's going to be a 4 versus 2 as Brolan desperately fights to fend them off at this stage. I don't think he's got enough in the tank as Golden. He will have a lovely shot. Could deny the bomb at this point, but Olaf Meister confirms it. Takes out his former teammates.
Can I see the Brokey frag again, please, Mr. Magic Replay Man? I'd like to see that ridiculous swing into short. That was gorgeous Counter-Strike. Let's see that first shot again. On the boost, takes down Crimson, and then this one? Bloody hell, one bullet. One bullet onto J-Dubs. Okay, so perhaps FaZe have got something to say. GG Bet do believe as well, as they can see the odds for Fnatic have at least become a little more less dramatic. It was about 1.2 to 4 coming into Overpass.
Well, this is against the USPs. We saw a lot of rounds with the Glocks go in favor of FaZe. Now Fnatic's turn to receive. coldzera is actually, he's kind of on his own here. He's got players behind him, but he's going to treat this fight with 2 big kills. Oh my God, how did they recover?
It's all good, Chad.
I was panicking. The damage went down. It felt like they weren't able to trade. It was all good.
Henry wasn't even sweating.
I was ready for that. I could see it in his eyes. He had it all under control, and it's going to be a very clean round from FaZe, but it comes down to this moment here. The force spike coming in round number 3. Fnatic will have M4s for Famases? And maybe a couple of SMGs as well. It's going to be a UMP for Golden.
Famases were in one of the Dr. Zeus books I used to read. So,
The Famases,
were they?
Yeah.
No.
What do they look like?
No, it was a family of, they did a Lorax. That's the Famases. They ate riddles, and coldzera eats Brolan for breakfast. It's a pretty late breakfast, to be fair, but he's a gamer after all. Brolan's gone, and it's 5 versus 4. FaZe kind of into their first real test of the second half of our second map. Crims will be jumping for him, but that's noise for Grain. And wait, Crims just lost a lot of health. That nade can catch him, but smart, evasive maneuvers will cause a weapon swap on the inner side.
It's FaZe clan. We have the gate swinging here in the second half. This is the pick of Fnatic. They lost 16-2 to NIP yesterday. It was on the T side that NIP found the majority of their rounds, but
Yeah, let me double check what the
I
score
believe it was 13-2, right?
Yeah,
So it's
13.
been around, it was 13-2. So that kind of sets the scene for you. Fnatic aren't necessarily well versed in the CT side, but now they have a 4-man stack, 3-quarter gamble stack. So they pretty much accepting the fact you've lost a round if they go towards A, but if they do come B, you group up, you do what you can. You know what? That's not going down right now.
Yes. Pay him off. Look at the angles they're adapting. I don't know if Nico's going to be ready for this. Now the frag does come in. Nico, he's body shotting them with the Galil. JW's doing everything to keep them out of the sight. A triple kill. He could even find a 4th. It's Flusher to do that. And JW has not done enough because coldzera's in the sight. And a quick lineup and knockdown. 2 Fnatic Skittles fall. And it's a strike for 8. That's going to be round 19 going perhaps in FaZe's way as well. Look at the CT buy.
Yeah, they've got nothing left at that point. That's $2,900 per player coming through. And JW, we talked about the gamble stack, Chad. It almost works out. You can see why, because they assume the bomb side be clear at this point. If double stack the barrels, JW can come through, get 3 kills in total, but still not enough.
Triple kill. He could even find a 4th. It's Flusher to do that. And JW has not done enough because coldzera's in the sight. And a quick lineup and knockdown. 2 Fnatic Skittles
set up here.
and it's a strike
They're
for
really
8.
trying to make this
That's
one
going to
work.
be round 19 going perhaps in FaZe's way as well. Look at the CT
situation.
Yeah, they've got nothing left at that point. That's $2,900 per player coming through. And JW, it's about the gamble stack, Chad. It almost works out. You can see why, because they assume the bomb side clear at this point. If double stack the barrel, JW can come through, get 3 kills in total, but still not enough.
triple kill. He could even find a 4th. It's Flusher to do that. And JW has not done enough because coldzera's in the sight. And a quick lineup and knockdown. 2 Fnatic Skittles
set up here.
and it's a strike for 8. That's going to be round 19 going perhaps in FaZe's way as well. Look at the CT situation.
Yeah, they've got nothing left at that point. That's $2,900 per player coming through. And JW, it's about the gamble stack, Chad. It almost works out. You can see why, because they assume the bomb side clear at this point. If double stack the barrel, JW can come through, get 3 kills in total, but still not enough.
Triple kill. He could even find a 4th. It's Flusher to do that. And JW has not done enough because coldzera's in the sight. And a quick lineup and knockdown. 2 Fnatic Skittles
set up here.
and it's a strike for 8. That's going to be round 19 going perhaps it made its way as well. Look at the siege situation.
The knife comes in from Bro. He kills him. He does find Solomon.
Triple kill. He can even find a point.
Can he find anything here? Fnatic to set up here.
And it's a strike. That's going to be down like perhaps it made its way as well. Look at the siege situation.
The knife comes in from Bro. He kills him. He does find Solomon. Triple kill. He can even find a point. Can he find anything here? Fnatic to set up here.
And it's a strike. That's going to be down like perhaps it made its way as well. Look at the siege situation. He wanted to make sure there was no repositioning from Brokey.
Well, one of the notes here for FaZe. Down as far as the Spanish goal gone. Brokey's
close that gap.
we go up to AVG. This looks like what they were going for last round, that fast B approach once again, and this time they might follow one through. Range, two things. Back through the molly, you fall. Brokey's. This looks like what they were going for last round, that fast B approach once again, and this time they might follow one through.
Serious damage
Range,
here.
two
Triple
things.
FaZe.
Back through the molly, you fall.
Fnatic starting to come online after this round. Cameron's got all the pistols. JW one here. We are going full distance now here. Triple FaZe.
Back through the molly, you fall.
Fnatic starting to come online after this round. Cameron's got all the pistols. JW one here. We are going full distance now here. Triple FaZe. With Brokey with 5 seconds left on the clock here. I don't think they've got a chance. Fnatic have done enough. And there we have it, a clean sweep towards the end. All 5 players survive on the Fnatic side. And remember, money is completely broken. No plan coming in. $1,900 per player. They're going to have to take either a force bite here or the full eco. I'd say it's the latter, considering they get 2400 into the next round and not enough for basic buys.
Yeah, the tide of this game has just shifted once again. It looked like FaZe were bringing it back. They were in dominant control of what was looking like a very good second half, but off the pistols, as we've mentioned in the previous. Look, that economy situation FaZe now finds themselves in. They are 13 down. Now, I know we saw them win some block rounds before. Those are extremely unlikely scenarios, and this here with the longer ranges, all the territory that you have to take, and you need utility to push the CTs back. I said it before, I'm going to say it again. They should not be winning this round. This should be round number 13 on the board for Fnatic here.
Yeah, no problem at all. There should be nothing interesting to talk about in this particular set. No blocks, no armor, no grenades.
And full helmets, worth noting.
So what if we bring in Green while we fill out this round? Green, are you there?
Hello.
So we've been prepping you. Tonight we got some ESL matches. We're starting to get serious about this. We're going to join the ladder soon. Are you happy to be our fourth? We need
To be on the ladders.
Yeah, we want to take this serious. Right? We heard you compete in the ESL office tournament.
Yeah, the ESL Cup.
So
I
you know
mean,
what's
looked at
like.
his CV.
Hasn't been too good though in the current performance. I look at that. Stats.
excuse me, considering how my team is shaping up. I think I'm performing all right, all in all.
Would you say you're the star player?
Well, you know it's bad when that is the case, and that is the case. So yeah, not looking good, honestly.
Thank you for your thoughts, Green. As we'll see, Fnatic just absolutely take care of business here. Shouldn't be a problem. I don't see why the bomb gets planted. Rain will fold himself up into towards Optimus, but it's going to be on the board there. 13-10 as Fnatic might have over past the back. Especially 20-22.
So those 2 rounds were kind of fumbled, right? You think about the one where they were heading towards beta to the execute and they lost the pistols. They had to change their mind halfway through. They went into a bit of a trap. You had the lucky nade. The same thing can be said for the following. They went for the fast B. JW hits an unlikely no-scope, which is a leg shot onto Rain, follows that up with the nade on top of the head, gets himself a kill very early there. FaZe go for the B approach again, looking at the radar. It will not be the case. They want the default spread. That's good news for FaZe.
Rollins' underhand flash is going to leave him in the middle. Could get caught off, but the HE. Roland does manage to get away. That could have got awkward. It was full flash, exposed and spotted, but he lives to fight another day.
They really want to get that Krieg out of the hands of Prolan here. The fact they've got AK-47s, Krieg in the CT side, Orps as well, and Flusher apparently in T-spawn. Olofmeister's behind him. His former teammate has made his way towards playground. Doesn't show any sign of slowing down either. Grim's trying to fend them off towards the bathroom position. The grenade could do substantial damage towards Cold Zera. I think it's number 27.
The Olof and Flusher exchange is actually getting more awkward. He's actually just stopped to check his backs and now will not catch the Flusher long ball. In the meantime, good trades. Nico will find another way into the site, but at a large cost of his health. He has the numbers, but they're low, and the flank is going to have 2 prongs. Ball from Connector. They've just turned tide now. And Olof comes back for the collection, and that's the kill that could really turn the tide of battle here in 45 seconds. Round 24, Flusher's got himself a long. They're not ready for this at all. He's even got a nade for more damage. He's doing it all. Flusher, he's softened up Coldzera, and Cold has to clutch a 1v2 after catching 3 separate nades. I think that might be just a little too tall on order. The trades. Nico will find another way into the site, but at a large cost of his health. He has the numbers, but they're low, and the flank is going to have 2 prongs. Connector. They've just turned tide now. Comes back for the collection. That's the kill that could really turn the tide of battle here in 45 seconds. Round 24, Flusher's got himself a long. They're not ready for this. He's even got a nade for more damage. He's doing it all. Flusher, he's softened up Coldzera, and Cold has to clutch a 1v2 after catching 3 separate nades. I think that just a little too tall. The trades. Nico will find another way into the site, but at a large cost of the numbers, but they're low. The flank is going to have 2 prongs. They've just turned tide now. Comes back for the collection. That's the kill that could really turn the tide of battle here in 45 seconds. Round 24, Flusher's got himself a long. They're not ready for this. He's even got a nade for more damage. He's doing it all. Flusher, he's softened up Coldzera, and Cold has to clutch a 1v2 after catching 3 separate nades.
That much to do in this particular round, unfortunately, though. We have to the partial buy here, or they go for the full investment. I would say it has to be the former.
If it's a pocket strat they have that they can pull on out, then they need to run with that, but it, exactly as you said, will just be that partial. Deagles are out. We've got 4 on the board, couple of smokes, couple of flashes.
It's enough for an execution, and these rounds on overpass, the set pieces can be very effective. All it takes to a missed orb shot, an over-aggressive CT player, and it can come spiraling out of control, but we will see now. Round 25. Going the distance here, but Fnatic looking likely to take us to a third. We'll start here. His home map, I would say, overpass. Biggest numbers by his standards, but doing a great job to the platform, so very confident.
So big pressure on that rookie as well. When you think about it, the youngest kid in the team, the least experienced player, and they have him soloing the harder bomb site, at least in my opinion, at the start of every round here.
So no easy roll.
He goes for the aggressive fight, and that's cost him his life. It could very well cost him the Krieg, and there's still so much time on the clock. Oh, JW, he's been a little more anxious now.
So the Krieg has been recovered. They still have smokes. Flashes and a 5-on-4 advantage. That's all it takes sometimes is 1 kill, a recovery of the weapon, and giving it to Rain as well. He's got armor. They can still smoke the bomb site. It's happening to go towards B, and I think they will miss it here. 30 seconds remaining on the clock. Rain will open the door, knowing there's a possibility of Gold will be boosted. Definitely a threat.
20 seconds.
For a reason. 20 seconds remaining. What's the final play? I think it's just down to Rain to make his way through. Makes it very squishy to the M4s. He did a lot of damage here. 10 seconds remaining in the 2 versus 2, but Nico, he's super low at this point. Can he find the most important kill? Apparently not with JW. He'll close things out. It comes down to a 1 versus 1, but Fnatic have found map points.
JW must have been so good in that heaven position to just pivot on over and finish off that frag, because if Brokey was able to get behind the box, I didn't see where the bomb had dropped, it was on his back, but the bomb could have gone down, and then a one-on-one to ensue where Deagle versus the AWP, it's whoever's bullet hits first. Good stuff over there to work that 50-50. So, maybe it wouldn't have been as potent as I was worried about there, but still a shot for JW, just in the nick of time, and well, do or die for FaZe now. Fnatic looking great on their map pick. Just going to take it.
In a row required. Time ended in 2. Oh, Flusher and Fnatic gang will secure themselves Inferno. Third map is always Inferno, it seems.
JW looking to close things out in style. AWP has been removed, dropped in the fountain. See now, 4 ensue. This is how the last one started as well. Crims is there. Force back to take him out of the round. Swing towards bathrooms. Positioning now towards being Crims. They're short at this stage. They could boost up and take him down if they wanted to. There's an actual potential there as well. And we'll see if it connects. It certainly does. That's not bad at all. Very well played. Gotta love that one.
Yeah, I can't believe that actually happened. I mean, they pulled the trigger on that and then even opened the door, so as he reacts to respond, he's shot to the side of the head. Sarah's got the responsibility of holding his flank.
The genius of that play as well, the spam is doing damage and it's asking the footsteps of Rain as he opens the door as well, so that was very well done. Especially the fact he was there, obviously, as the nades come through now. FaZe are not going down without a fight, as they do have full control of the B-bomb side. Looks like Fnatic still fancy it, but the Molotovs are making things very overwhelming indeed. Golden down to 41. He is stuck in a corner. They might as well save this one and keep the rifles up if possible. They still have plenty of money. Bomb's just been planted, so Golden's going to at least explore his options.
I love it. It's going to get boosted up to heaven. Cash, but they were so flush for it 2 rounds ago. They had 10k, 5 digits, not this time though. Back around. I don't think Rain's quite getting it. He's just a little too far behind. He's got a good idea there long. Knife out now, actually. Maybe 1. He's making so much noise. He does! Oh, nearly 2! Nico and Rain will fall at the end. But they still have the rifles coming into 27.
Could have been a huge play from Rain though. If he gets his couple of kills towards the end, sure, they've got money, but that'll help them out. And getting back into this game is going to be down to the finances here. They can break the cash. Have you got any questions for us? Yes, indeed. The Lamson boys are accepting them at this stage. You have to use the hashtag EPL mailbag. And every segment, when we get a little bit lost or we don't have much to talk about, we will bring out the mailbag and see what's going on and give you just as honest and upfront answers as possible we can.
Dive into that.
Anything is welcome, really. Try and keep it Counter-Strike related, but anything you really want.
Yeah. Pick in this one.
So just one more round to take us to Inferno. Fnatic forward do it for FaZe to get the full reset. It's unlikely, but it's got to focus on a round by round basis at this stage.
Another opening.
Certainly doing well. He has found the first opening. Crims to go down. Nico towards shore. Normally hits those. Takes a bit of damage, drops the smoke, and really get out alive.
I can't believe he went back for another little show of the leg there. Even though the smoke was up one straight bullet, that could have been on Nico. Right? Quickly accelerate up through the bathroom position. JW to receive. He's going to be ahead of that Molotov. Has to push on forward. He's now isolated, but this is where JW does his best work.
This is exactly where he does his best work. But note the pause from FaZe. That smoke's only going to last so long. JW's going to be... It's caught Rain. He was not expecting that. I don't think anyone was. And now the 2C teams. He's even landed the wallbang. Olaf should be in so much trouble. Finally, Brian hits the shot. Another one, though, coming back for FaZe. 30 seconds. JW's just thriving in the chaos on that site. But a 1 versus 2 as the dust settles and JW finally loses his life. Golden's flank.
He wins this. We'll get this first kill, no problem, and Nico's already low. Flashbang goes over. I think we might be done here with 10 seconds remaining. I'll have to go for the bankside plan. It means that we can get very, very close indeed, knowing there's an HP advantage here, but he is against Nico. He's been dropped. Massive advantage for Golden. Should be done here.
Must be such a perfect shot for Nico. Golden's done it. Fnatic, they secure their map pick. It's Inferno, ladies and gentlemen. We're going all the way. I wouldn't want it any other way. Stage 2 starts with a full 3-map affair.
Stage 2 of the ESL Pro League Season 11 is kicking off with FaZe Clan versus Fnatic, and we wouldn't have it any other way. We're going the distance, we're going to the third map, but first and foremost, we need to cover the action that just went down there on Overpass. Some big performances from the likes of Flusher and Co on the Fnatic side of things, but I want to talk about the defining round in this game. I've got that man for you, Mr. Flusher, on the screen with Golden, the in-game leader, right in the middle here, and that's because I want to talk about the round where the game changed. We find ourselves in a score that was tied on up. It was 10-10. Fnatic, they had a great first half. FaZe bounced back with a pretty good T-half of their own. But it's right here at round number 21 that I want to draw everybody's focus. It was a one-saved M4 and some upgraded pistols, and Fnatic were able to get the round done and go on a bit of a streak here to put them on 15. That's why this round is so important. We'll clear this off, we'll get into this round. We start with FaZe leaving spawn. What I want to note, just look at all the player positions and where they're lining up. Nico was giving room there. Normally when you're doing that, it's because you're going to be running in a certain, I guess, scenario of the nades that need to be run on out and who's going to be running in where and executing onto the site. So you can see here, they get a little bit clunky. Olaf and Brokey are kind of on top of each other. So as we play this, they kind of stall out and they don't continue with this execute. That's what it looked like from the start to me, and they cancel it off. Now I want to talk about the trap that's kind of being set in position here from the side of Fnatic. Now Crimson's in a forward position. He's going to deal with Olaf coming through the tunnel. So you've got Flusher towards the back of the site, and you have Golden here, who has a nade, I believe. So we play this round on out. Crims will actually go down to Olaf, but that baits the guys from FaZe forward into the sewer position. So we're about to see that duel going. Flash comes over, Crim steps out, he goes down. Now Olaf has taken a bit of damage. He pushes out, pops a deagle bullet. Flusher with the nade comes over, kills Olaf. The one bullet deagle from Golden takes down Rain, who's trying to trade, and that's the round basically done and dusted. They find themselves in a 3v4 situation. Fnatic have all the pistols, and FaZe, with the last three individuals, are stranded over towards Long. Now we had Flusher there getting a kill. Flusher was instrumental in this map. He had 30 frags to his name. I'm going to bring up his stats for you here. Over 100 points of ADR. He had 9 multi-kill rounds. So we're going to leave you with some highlights of Flusher for the break, and then we'll come back with the third map. Don't go anywhere.
Touch. Come here. Tambah lagi.
Everybody loves an underdog. He needs to be liked.
Mountain Dew and Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Bala done.
Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Take what's rightfully yours with GG.net.
No.
The future waits for no one, so we refuse to wait for it. Today, battles are waged in nanoseconds, and planes are piloted from the other side of the world. The future's not coming, it's already here. Join us and be the future.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Gaming Malta, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, CS Money, MSI, Air Force, GG Bet, and ESEA.
With a 4-3 map affair, I would absolutely demand nothing less from FaZe and Fnatic. They've won each of their map picks. Mirage was where we saw FaZe find their first, and of course Overpass has just concluded with a rather, I don't want to say close game, because it certainly could have been, as Chad highlighted, but in the end it was 16-10. I'm not going to sound as close as it perhaps was.
There was a moment there when it felt like FaZe were coming back into where we actually thought they could do it, but there was this one round that broke their economy, kind of just sabotaged all of their efforts, and here we are in Inferno. What we wanted to see, to be honest with you, both teams well versed in it. It's a classic third map, and hopefully we see the best of both come together to give it a full 30th.
Now, I presume, Chad, you glanced at the Inferno head-to-head. Is there any particular front runner coming in?
Look, they have similar things they like to do on the CT sides. We've been covering off what Fnatic does. We've shown Brolin's smoke from pit towards the top middle position when they want to retake that. We've seen towards Banana as well, where they throw the half-wall smoke and the Molotov. Well, both teams, they have similar tendencies in that regard. The one thing that Fnatic do, FaZe have become a little bit more rigid, right? Fnatic will take a few more liberties. We saw that on Overpass with JW sneaking through. Expect the same thing to go on, but maybe more from the likes of it's Crims and Brolin, who's defaulting on their T side over towards A. So look out for those two to take gaps if they call 3 banana or not. So if you're Flusher and Golden running up banana, like 3 banana, expect the likes of Crims and Brolin to take space.
Yeah, and of course keeping your eye on just that battle for banana. Flusher's very good at selling the B
on both sides, to be honest. On the T side, he'll be at the very top almost every single round. On the CT side, very aggressive, barreling down, trying to get the kills, and he can do that by himself on both sides.
MP9, the UMP, shotgun.
Cold Zero is one that we've been talking a lot about from FaZe. We mentioned the fact that within NIBR or the Brazilian teams, always had he was a hero. Now, I don't know if he needs to be a hero in the same way here, but if he can have performances of that scale, that's another positive sign of things to come. But Inferno, as this last map right here, hopefully it delivers, right? Because the first map was a bit of a blowout. The second one, it was close once we got into the second half. But right here, we're hoping, I want more of a back and forth. Yeah, lots more clutches.
I would certainly hope so. Both of these teams are certainly capable when they meet in the servers. It does seem like there's always one mismatch so far across the first 2 maps. I do have a question coming in from you guys, though, not from me this time. Someone on Twitter has reached out. It is Good Guy Triz. He says, why do most pros choose Inferno as a decider? Good question.
Everyone plays it, and it's been a map that's been around for decades.
Yeah, let's kind of break this down for people at home. So Inferno is a map that I would say 95% of the teams out there play. It's not a perma-ban for most teams. Now, when we talk about a best-of-3 beta, obviously you have your maps that you prefer to play, which you want to pick in the first phase, and teams have maps that they don't want to play, which they try and ban within the first phase. Now, you either try and target a team's strength, or you try and target one of your weaknesses with that ban phase. Normally, Inferno is left over as the last 3 maps when we come into the second ban phase, and most teams are pretty comfortable playing that. That's why you see it coming through as a third, because it is a knife-a-side, it's pretty close, normally a 9-6.
It plays like a... Sorry. It plays like a classic Counter-Strike map as well, in terms of the attack, in terms of spreading out of the default, going for executions on 2 sides of the map. You have a bit of control. CTs can't be super aggressive towards you. They can't have these strange maneuvers. Sure, they can battle control towards banana, but you know what you're up against, and you can slow it down. You don't have to take that fight if you don't want to. You're going to have to sit back there. So it has working parts of it, instead of like a Vertigo where you're worrying about constant flanks across the map. Like Overpass as well, with Sword and what's T-Spawn as well. Inferno plays like a classic Counter-Strike.
It's where risk versus reward kind of feels quite level. So the risk of going for a 3 banana control and dumping your utility is that nobody goes banana, and now you have to defend B with just some smoke right? Or they do an A rush and you've risked stacking 3 players B. So I like the risk reward. It has a good trade-off on a map like this, and it always seems to deliver, because once we get into the final stages of this map, if it is closer back and forth, well, we know how hard the bomb sites are to retake, and eventually the team who's on the CT side the second half, they want to win the game and they're losing bomb site control, they have to start going for the retakes, and that's when we have all the wild moments happen.
Which we actually saw relatively recently in FaZe's last Inferno game. They've got nades for the retake. It was Jerry who was just catching HEs on the nose when he was planting on A site. Watch for Nico's retakes of the A site. He in particular have an affinity for making a lot of damage happen on his way back from the B bomb site should they hit A. Some stats on the screen worth noting that the first kill conversion percentage does lean the way of FaZe ban, but much more interestingly is that Fnatic, they certainly can overcome that first death, as we saw on Overpass. A lot of those 4v5s they were picking up was off the back of a FaZe opening frag, so Fnatic, no strangers to calling it that.
One of Fnatic's problems going into this map right here with their team is to use the rotation on the arch side. So what they'll do is they will get top mid control, they'll get banana control, and then they'll throw that smoke that lands. It's not for library, but it covers for Moto and library. That smoke right there is so dangerous, and the reason that's very dangerous is because if your defender of the arch side is playing library or Moto, he's cut off. He either has to go back into spawn and go arch, which just leaves a massive gap towards A, that could be one pivot point, because Cold Zero likes to hold that part of the map.
It does, and Cold Zero, as you saw, is one of the highest rated players on this map. I mean, that kind of goes for multiple maps. So we listed his Mirage, he's in the top 2. We've got Inferno, I think we listed him as at least top 5 as well. He is ridiculous, so keep your eyes on him. He's been working well with Nico as they do clash on our 3rd map. It's only the first series of the day. Astralis, Na'Vi, I can't believe it's coming. That's the second after this one. A Mouse OG to end the day, who continue to be the wild card of our top 6 teams. Stage 2 kicks off with the Fnatic FaZe, yet to have the results split across the series. It ends here on Inferno.
It certainly does. The 9th round is concluded and FaZe have come out on top, meaning they get a slight advantage here by starting the CT side. They've got the Incendiary for Nico as well, the Flashbang, and 1 kid on Olofmeister. We will see a very classic setup from Fnatic with the double smokes, presumably to finish up with the execution with 4 Flashbangs behind them as well, as Rain jumps over for Intel here, trying to see if there's any activity towards second middle. He spotted 3 players. Fnatic are not dissuaded from their approach, but continue towards the A side of the map. We said Flusher likes to be here alone, Alex. You're seeing it come through right now.
Yeah, I mean, even with no utility, just his body tends to be able to keep CTs busy through sound cues and a lot of nuanced counter-strike. So now he's remained silent. That's the first step he'll be making. CT stacked, 4-man mid-hold from FaZe Clan. Smoked off on quad side, they could boost on the step, they're going to. Through the smoke! Rain will greet them, Coldzera's there as well, they may not be ready for him. Rain has managed to do some superb work, finding a double kill, but the chaos, as it all calms down for a moment, favors Fnatic. Into the site, Nico will tap away, just trying to chip away at anyone on the short cross, but it will not happen. This duel from Olof is everything, and he did catch a bullet from Golden already.
Yeah, that should be it at this stage. Olofmeister with just 3 points of health. The Glock just needs to land a bullet in his general direction. Nico will fight for his life here, but it looks like he might be out of time and space. He still has an Incendiary and a chance to take Golden down, but the positioning will be too strong, and will be Fnatic with a lovely pistol approach there. Managing to fend off the scrappy duels on the A-bomb site. They do find themselves to a 1-0 lead, but we do know every single team has a force by in the second round of the CT side of Inferno. 5-2 rating across the 2 months they've played so far in EPL. Very high numbers. Force by does control say about $1,000 when they went down the first gun rounds. That's FaZe with 5 smokes here. Are going to be dead.
Team as proficient on a map like Inferno as Fnatic are very good around these smokes. They don't panic. We've already seen how good they are in the late rounds yesterday against MIP. It was one of their biggest strengths, whittling down the Ninjas in the domestic derby round there. But if you apply pressure early, you tend to force the CTs to use those smokes early. Right? You want them to drop them before the 1 minute mark. That nade coming in over is going to put Nico on notice. He'll chip back with a couple of Deagle bullets, but still, no smokes have come on out yet. We're getting close. Golden smoke might be the trigger for FaZe to drop their own, but everybody just holding strong here from FaZe.
Yeah, so restrained. Crimson's taking a lot of space. That's the smoke you were referring to.
Very powerful, overwhelming smoke, that one. Actually, have mid control, drop that through. You can see how much vision is taken away from multiple angles here. Brokey with Desert Eagle towards Arch. He's in a decent position to get a kill. Doesn't get the insta-kill though, and it's going to be Crimson take him down, and a 5 versus 4 ensues. They can actually focus towards the CT spawn area, considering Flusher still has control of the banana position. So 2 players waiting, that's Rain and Nico. Some big names, but can they deliver?
Rain did a lot of damage, but I'm not sure Nico's going to be able to profit from it. He could just over the smoke, and he does. A TK as well. It's a 3 versus 3. Nico's managed to reposition. The smokes have enabled him to get towards Coffins. The flank's coming in, and he will be executed. Like a stray dog. Olof. Coldzera to the side. 2 on the left-hand side. Flushes in such a powerful position. It won't go checked. Quick adjustment. Olof does find the frag. Now a second is necessary. He's lost his team. He's lost the round. It will be Fnatic and JW in particular to confirm it. A triple kill, no less.
Just to note, JW pushed the CT smoke to get those 2 kills just then. Like, I'm not even going to get started on how absolutely insane that is in a 2-on-2 situation where you have the advantage, but it doesn't matter. Fnatic, they're able to pull off the round through that smoke that I was highlighting. Luckily, you know, sometimes these little nuggets come to me.
Yeah, the smoke was very effective. Well, that was the force buy, bear in mind. So FaZe Clan do have to go for a full eco here, and they've got to put 5 players towards the B side of the map. So this they should be ready and waiting. He's only got a Glock. Flash out has a Glock only.
The classic.
The classic setup, Glock only. And he does this so much. I don't know what I can't criticize it at all. Let's see what we can get away from these USPs though. Struggling somewhat, but a nice smoke.
Yeah, and they're just going to step through it.
Here he comes. Every time. Every time it works out.
Oh, wow, he's got himself $900 and a triple kill with his Glock armor. Up against the unarmored opponent. Okay. He wants the $1,500.
Teammate as well.
And Olaf Meister are played between the shoulders. He's going for the left right. And no, good night. It's going to be an AK delivery. Olaf wants to hold on to it.
Okay, well, still having fun it seems. Molotov flies through the air, doesn't quite make it towards the coffin position. Momentarily, he does have a smoke too. At least Shroud is positioned for now, but the Golden will find him. Ninth attempt, a very good one coming in from JW, but doesn't quite stick the landing. 3-0.
So this is his triple kill. Two of his opponents. Finished off Rain.
When I used the Glock,
Hi.
Hi there.
Alright, the AWP is out. Brokey has squirreled away his pennies to be able to afford that one, so let's see what he can do with it. You have to find a kill within this third map here. Now, I want to make sure everybody understands. Stage 2, we got the best teams in the world. Hold up, I better hold that thought. The banana aggression comes on in. Rain, can he find another? The damage is done. The trade will come out. Crusher doing his best with the UMPs.
How does he survive all the time? It's unbelievable. And he doesn't get away with it. No, Nico will find him.
But look at this. Look at the space they capitalized on A when they knew it was 3 banana. This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're right. JW now being an absolute nuisance. He sits in spawn. The Cold Zera seems to be aware of it at least. Looking towards Library. This is a key duel now. The Creek should come out on top, which it does. Now Library under scrutiny. 3 versus 3 with the AWP there. Molotov towards the pit. They're going to have to smoke it out. Olaf Meister will do so. He's also in the pit with him.
Good reaction. I could have really spiraled the round. Instead, we stay level. Even keel.
No one's on a timer here.
On the balcony. You could catch Olaf if he was to walk to site. Smartly chooses the more passive route, knowing his team have got other plans towards B.
45 seconds. Nico. Half health. One flash. Sits at half wall here. Very vulnerable. Should be able to get the first, but Crims is just too quick. Flashbang's not amazing, but the smoke will do. Makes his way across, knowing Nico is very likely to be the anchor. Out the beat, bonsai 4-0 should be on the board here, no problem. Brokey on the retake with the AWP, and JW, I don't know how he looks so confident sometimes. That's when he's got low HP, I would not be even thinking about that. I'd be cowering in the corner, waiting for him to come to me. He's just on the hunt. And now going to see.
Got all the way to T-spawn. Probably not going to be on his first priority list to check. He's going to head towards A instead, so they will maintain their weapons, and that's important considering Brokey only just got that AWP into the round, and he's already been able to, well, he's been locked out of this round entirely. So 0-0-3, this should be the same coming into our fourth round.
Those weapons is hugely important, but we're going to take a look at Skybox here. We can see the 3 banana coming in from that of FaZe. Once that's called, look over towards A. So 3 bananas being called. JW immediately. Whoa. Right, hold up. JW is right here. He's coming up middle. You can see that. He's flashed on up. They know that banana's already been dealt with. And he's able to come on through spawn and find that gap.
Wow.
Looks more like Age of Empires.
Yeah, I hit a button. I don't know which button I hit, but it was a good one. We're still learning the technology, Henry. So look, I'll keep bringing some more Easter eggs, some more surprises.
I like that
That was
a lot.
fun. I kind of like the way that looked.
If we can get some trebuchets out there as well, that'd be cool.
I think what I hit was there's like different versions of cameras that you can look at, and when I was making the cameras just quickly then before we jumped on in, I hit RTS mode, which is probably why it
Which
did
is
look
why
like
it looked a bit like Age of Empires. RTS mode.
Yeah, that's in here too. So
damn.
there's a whole bunch of different looks that they've got.
It looks really cool.
Yeah, that won't happen again. I apologize.
We could make a Counter-Strike RTS, and then you've got a top-down view to
Apparently,
the units.
someone's made something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's like a Counter-Strike logo of sorts.
I'm still trying to master this version, so...
Yeah, I'll stick to that.
Oh, dear. Okay, I thought it was like a...
flash, yeah.
So what's going on?
He threw a decoy towards middle when he sends the AWP towards B to suggest the AWP's top of middle, but it didn't get
He missed.
Not a huge deal or detail, but something. If you've got a decoy, throw the other side of the map, I guess. If you especially have the orb.
Okay.
Nico's had his belt completely wrong, but he still stands his ground. Why are you still fighting? Nico, full firm belief. He holds down Banana single-handedly. Roland, this lurk is now going to become the spearhead of the assault, and they're playing 2 balcony. We've seen FaZe do this before.
Have you ever cleared corners as meticulous as this kid? As I say that, he clears the most glaringly obvious one, the balcony, trying to find a gap there with his own smoke. It's taken out. Now it's just Crimson 1-on-5. I'm going to say, even though the king of Connector on Mirage had a decent game, it's a tough task in a 1-on-5 situation against FaZe. Damage is the name of the game. If you can get 3 kills here, keeps that CT economy at bay. Has to start with the first, creeping one up. Hold 0.
Well, Crims, he'll be taken away. He'll be out of your misery, Chad. Thank you. And it's going to be the first round of the ball here for FaZe. Nico, aggressive, of course, towards the banana area, somehow managing to find 3. I thought 2 was enough, to be honest with you, but he wanted a bit more.
And he started that with 40 health.
Yep, he did. And the flashbang over the top, it's a common move from FaZe. They do it quite a lot, but it's so successful. That was the decoy being thrown at the start, I believe we're looking at. And here's the replay from Nico. As he gets flashed over, couldn't be better. You can see the 2 flashes from range, just they were very blind indeed. Golden tries to get the trade, but didn't work out for him. FaZe come online. All for Brokey, 0-3. Rookie trying to shine here against JW Sniper as well. And he just catches goal.
So Apartments control for Fnatic, that does it with a good lead. Oof. Every round now, somebody is having to swallow 50 damage before the bullets even start getting fired. Look at JW, just narrowly missing out the rotation from Coldzera there. And the duel, Brokey was holding short. Now a gap has been formed. He's been having a bit of a nightmare so far, the young Orpa. Coldzera playing the off angle, hoping to exploit this. As the smoke fades, he does catch a glimpse, but Golden gets the better of him. JW missing his shot gives Olaf another lease of life, only for a moment before JW gets that close quarters AWPing complete. And so it's around. It will just be a matter of time now. The CTs are going to be gathering towards B, bomb being delivered towards A as we speak.
That's a huge round to pick up there. Fnatic really have ran away with it. It's going to be a 5-1 scoreline. FaZe can only save those 2 weapons. You see Brokey 0-4 hasn't really turned up to Inferno so far, and I would say CT defenses are built around the AWP chat. It's not too much of an out there statement. It's a very dynamic weapon on the map. It can be moved around, and it's very aggressive on Inferno and can be influential.
No, and I think the fact that they lost that round so early to the JW slipping through the arch side, Fnatic punished that one gap, that one weakness within the first gun round. So that has to be in the minds of FaZe. When they did just do the standard 2 players B, that's when Nico got that spray down. They were able to pick up their rounds here. I think they're still just trying to stabilize on where they expect the attacks to be coming on through. Still survive in the pit here. And the saved weapons, it's enough for them to justify a buy with the money that they have remaining. JW, once he gets established up in that Halls position, it means that nobody can really rotate back in towards that bomb site. So it is a very powerful spot. It doesn't look like it when we're observing the game, because you see the players at arch side, they seem so far away from JW's end of Halls. But JW spotting through that line towards Moto actually means that they can't be playing that position. And it's quite potent for them to squeeze out that A defense.
Less flexibility.
Yeah, I mean, like if you do get pushed off, you fall into JW's line of sight and he gets a freebie.
This grenade can do a lot of damage. Rain is setting it up at this point. Designed to bounce over and line up the barrels and rush up. Not looking forward to it, to be honest with you. He'll be down to 85 would be fine with that. Shoot, 3 players outside of the line. Rain broke again with the same maneuver. Same flash over the top. Nico provided, but much closer this time. It won't be as effective, but the AWP shot will be. The swing comes round, 2 kills found, and there's going to be Nico just mowing them down with the Krieg. 3 players here could be enough.
Yeah, Nico's just managed to make this round winnable. He might just be winning it single-handed. A third now added to the kill tally. A perfect read from Crims and a great tap away at the head.
He can win these. Crims has got a minute. The Molotov, and he knows exactly where Cold Zero is. It's hiding behind the smoke. Bomb on his back as well. CT spawn, flashes banana. We see all of the stuff locking him in, making sure he can't retreat to the bomb side at least, but Crimson's trying to creep. He's a Molotov towards banana. Oh, mine's a fountain. That could be an idea. Molotov is used to flush out a potential CT on the other side. It's insane. All the bomb he planted. They could have done, but at this point now, all of my light swing makes it tight. I'll let it go down.
Safe from banana for that plant, but any more? It's just a question of when he chooses to take the fight. Taking their time. Very patient. One's about half gone here, Crims. Yet to have to move from his hidey hole, but that's the nade. So now down to just 47. They can't assume it's clear, surely. Smoke on the bomb, Olaf to tap it. In fact, Olaf's holding it. And Crims' spray. It's a bit wild. Coldzera will trade. Has he got enough time?
He doesn't care.
He's got it.
Oh, if he didn't find the bomb in time, he would have been a bit close, but he does. He didn't have a kit there. He picks it up all off his corpse at that point, but that was so well played from Crimson. The fact that smoke comes down on top of the C4, that actually helps him out because they nade it towards new boxes. And Chad, what have you got? I think I know what you've got.
I just want to talk about the safety net here. It was Rain's position, right? You can see him as close. We're going to play this out. Rain's job is actually to cover Brokey when he falls back, expecting players to swing. This was a great move. Rain didn't get anything done. Thank God for Nico in the backline with that mow down. It was a great little
That
play.
smoke he throws there, Chad, right off the little hoop inside.
Yep.
That manages to allow him to jump on coffins as well and look above the coffins, actually have a bit of a one-way. I've noticed he'll do that twice now. He throws that same smoke when he feels danger from the coffins position, but anyway, to look above the T side. Smoke's going down, and they do have another round here. It will be very aggressive towards the banana area. The wall bang comes through as Golden goes down. Brokey starting to come online now. First all kill of the game.
So Banana now not really working for Fnatic. That's 2 of their rounds that they've completely lost on that side of the map, and here they've been swatted away by the early aggression from FaZe Clan and that wallbang from Brokey. Well, that will send them over towards this A side as all three quickly congregate. But look at the space that they're taking. They're very quick.
Yeah, immediately have short, just like that. They are going to continue their advance. The smoke's going to make Olaf's support more difficult, but they just jumped straight through. They weren't expecting that from Brawl, and they had absolutely no idea. Still the numbers favour FaZe, but part of me has a feeling, a sneaking suspicion, JW and Crims are not done with this round. Just jump up onto Graveyard, smooth move from Pit, and they've managed to level it out after a double opening kill in favour of FaZe.
Brokey still alive, responsible for both of those opening kills.
Nico dropping the smoke we highlighted the other day just to the right of the bomb site here. This will allow him to walk through the smoke and go into the site to surprise Fnatic.
Good call, Chad. See if he can get up on that first box. That's what he did yesterday as well. With the Molotov about to be deployed towards short. Here's the jump up. Oh, it doesn't even need it. That's right. 2-on-1 for Crims now.
Crims is not going to have to move. It's just an angel, and Nico's won it. Him and Brokey, with their powers combined, pull a must-win out of the hat.
That's 2 in a row now, 1v1 situations. FaZe are under pressure here. Their economy, it's good enough for the buys, but they're constantly being tested.
Notice how Nico always has his smoke when he needs it.
Yeah.
He's not deploying at the start of the round. He's not waiting to lock them out. It's when he knows a full commitment's either coming in towards B, or he needs to exit out of the B bomb site back towards A and try and clutch it out. That's actually pretty incredible by him. As the first headshot comes through, he will absolutely destroy Crims towards the pit. And now, round 9 coming up, Desert Eagles, CZs. We have got HEs across the board as well, with smoke grenades available. We're going to have straight up B rush here, as Fnatic now will be tested.
Oh, already catching a good deal of damage. Same could be said a little bit to Nico. He's not even going to get a chance into this one. Overwhelmed, overrun. Rain has to do more. Good find out to Brawl, and the molly was making him a little hot and bothered, and now the same can be said for Rain. He'll smoke it out, play the survival game. He wants the rotate to have time to come in. Survival integral. Golden's not letting it happen. It's going to put an M4 in his hands. And Flusher continuing to apply pressure. This boost looks promising for one, but immediately traded. Flusher's doing such good work. Brokey's gone, and the round from Fnatic, it didn't look possible. They couldn't attack B with rifles, but they've done it with the pistol.
Yeah, they've surely done enough at this point. Coldzera in a 3 versus 1. He'll probably get a couple of kills, to be honest with you, but now being overwhelmed, he'll get nothing as Fnatic go up 6-3 now, recovering all the weaponry they'd given up in the round previous. and now 6-3, and the money is absolutely battered and bruised on the CT side. You can see they've got $2,000 per player. Loss bonus will be 2,500 in the next round, full eco territory, and there's likely to be 7 to stay on the T side.
FaZe Clan had all the low bar situations going in their favour when they kicked things off on Mirage. Overpass, we didn't see too many of those scenarios really come into play, but here on Inferno, Fnatic, that's a huge one to win. Nico, just that timing, he doesn't normally get caught off guard by that, but you could just see how overwhelmed he was in that situation, opted to stand and fight. Flag, the B-bomb site fell. So JW, as quick as you like, up middle, a minute 33 left on the clock, MP9 in hand, so much information gained right here.
He's in live, and he's just got 1 minute 30.
It's crazy.
What has he done now?
Been heard, Olaf knows something's up, but once he leaves the site, well, nobody from FaZe is over towards A, and I think we'll get a free bomb site. JW wants some free kills as the will be coming on through. It's a matter of timing if Olaf's going to catch him in the back. Just look at this, pivoting around the pillar, he didn't see him.
Didn't see him. There's knives available, Chad. Multiple knife kills here.
No, he's just going to get the money. He's going to farm the cash.
Multiple knife kills. Multiple knife kills.
$3,000, baby. One. I'm gonna get a second interview. Woo!
Let's go.
That is so
They
good.
might still lose the round. Hold on.
No.
They're going A.
No.
Okay.
Two knives killed. I thought he was going to get the double stab straight away. It seemed like he made that a bit harder than
He
it had to
flopped
be.
the jump.
Yeah.
He didn't go up straight away.
He still made $3,000 there with 2 knife kills and made them look very silly indeed. So I'm sure he's happy.
Yeah, he'll like that one.
He would have liked to get 2 knives and killed him with the MP9. That would have been the best way to close it out. But doesn't come through. Still a much closer round than it should have been, I guess. There's still a chance Nico wins this. Considering there were 2 knives in this round, it's still a 2-on-1. They've won it, but he wants to lock them up. Yeah, he wants to try and deny them saving anything and pick up an A game himself. That Molotov's very effective and Crims will close things out. Worth it though with the knife kills. JW has $10,000 as we get to round 1.
Yeah, that's one way to find the cash. It looks like he stopped playing CSGO for a second and started playing TF2. Straight up spy. Stabbing him in the back lines. We do see 7 for Fnatic on the T side of Inferno. It's about time now for FaZe to show us a little more resistance. So he does flub the jump because of the back pedal of Cold. He didn't end up on the coffins like he intended.
Still got 2 of the knife. You don't see that ever.
All right. As you were just saying, Alex, FaZe need to start mounting some rounds here. It doesn't have to be winning the half, which is going to be a tall task when they've already found themselves 7 in the hole, but 5 or 6 would be pretty nice. Almost necessary at this point. Fnatic on Inferno, they're a bit of a specialist on it, a map that they've always been good at. You go back to when Olaf was on the team, Pronax was there, Dennis and co. Always a map that Fnatic were able to define, and here, it's a potent duo.
It certainly is, but they're not expecting an off angle like that from Cold. He's only good for 1, and Olaf isn't good for anything. Thankfully, Brokey's managed to claw one back. He's rotated early to A to back them up.
They can fall back to B. They haven't even fully committed to this. This is insane. They've gone A, they've found 2 kills, they've forced the rotation, and now like, yeah, we're gonna walk back now. We don't need to go A. There's still a minute on the clock.
Yeah, well, they would be right in thinking so. The B-bomb side is currently open, but Rain is here with the incendiary and a smoke grenade. The perfect array of utility to defend North. They've already broken through the initial choke point. This is where things get a little bit more complicated. He won't be able to deny them access, but maybe he can get the first kill, but he doesn't get it cleanly. He does damage towards JW, but gives them his position. Flush though, missing the shot towards CT spawn. 2 low players now for Fnatic. FaZe, all the advantages they could ask for.
Both will be planted down. That's the instruction line, exactly. David was aware of it. Nico's actually stopped it from Banana, closed the gap, made it impossible for JW, given the time, given the pressure from Nico. Double kill from him and Brokey, and even recovering an AWP for the next round of play.
Curious about the ult pickup. I don't know if it's necessary for their CT side. It doesn't feel like they need it, especially with all these mid-round situations they're finding themselves in. They're constantly getting strung between bomb sites. The AWP's a bit slower at that, and he can't be as nimble in the mid-rounds, right? He can't just pull it out and shoot multiple bullets. And will be to have to stop, plant your feet. And if you do get combat AWP, you got to be pretty quick, right?
The fact that Fnatic are slipping behind enemy lines, you probably want to have 5 rifles. Yeah, I feel like it's actually a bit of a detriment to them with the executions that are coming in. You've got these serpent-like players like JW, seems to be finding himself a CT spawn at the 1 minute 30 mark. But either way, he's got the AWP now, and we'll see whether he can step up. JW will be peeking straight up towards spawn here. May's coming through. There was a chance of the collab there, but he'll have to settle with just 1.
really back to his old ways.
Yes.
He's showing his flexibility, right? They've been getting banana control for free every single time, and the only times that they were losing was to those flash traps coming out. He stayed scoped in, laser focused, grabs the first, and now FaZe, they've had to force this rotation.
Flusher, did you walk through that smoke? No, he has. Yep, and he will just get caught on the boost. No smoke CT, going in dry, and Brollan, he likes that gap. He exploits it. In fact, there's no smoke, means he can take those fights and already manufacture a two-man advantage. There's nothing Olaf and Brokey can do. They're on A still at this point. Fnatic's T-side does look indomitable.
Nice step.
He saves. Or attempted saves.
We'll have to do the same once again. Brollan, JW with the key frags at that point, especially JW to crack things open. Just runs up banana by himself, of course, changes the pace up of the game. It's normally Flush there alone. He goes over the AWP, cracks open the side by taking Nico down. Brollan there with the Krieg. We talk about his potential as well with that particular weapon. That's going to boost up the spawn just down with the look toward library as well. 8-4. It feels like a Fnatic victory to me, but FaZe got everything left here, even with the flashbangs blooming in his face. He manages to pull it off. Great spray control from Brollan. No smoke down in CD spawn required.
Yeah, it's a different approach. It's one where you can see it catches the CTs off guard. We were talking about the smoke molly defense yesterday on train. And if the CTs are waiting for your cues of grenades to be ready to shoot, if you sometimes just pounce on in like that in an uncharacteristic way, you can catch them off guard. You can see FaZe, even though they know they're in trouble right here, they've opted to just go for another partial buy. There's two saved weapons to be backed up by some upgraded pistols, but the way that Fnatic are looking after they get these 1 or 2 opening exchanges, it's not even just opening kills in their favor, it's trades back and forth. They play these mid-rounds so well.
Yeah, I mean, it's just must be suffocating. Fortunately, Golden did not account for the rain. Deagle, the broken AWP, Brokey AWP, does shut down Flusher. It's far from over, but they could be if Crims gets caught by a USP like that. Gosh. Warning shots fired, but backing away now, re-smoking Rain on the flank, it's huge. Crims with a knee-jerk reaction, actually finding the head of Rain, but the round reaches its logical conclusion. We see 13 go to the way of FaZe Clan, keeping that gap and sealing it up a little bit. You said winning the half wouldn't be necessary. Likely, but closing the gap a necessity. And already on a good route to do so, considering Fnatic are going to be coming in with peanuts.
It's a nice round to win, and Cold Zero we mentioned as an individual who normally puts up massive balls on Inferno. He's only 4 kills to his name. But when I remember him doing his best work, it's usually through the T side, so we'll give him that chance. Fnatic are the ones who are pushed on down to some compromised lives right here. CZ for Flusher, P250 for Brollan. He won't have the Krieg this time round.
Fnatic with Brollan towards the end of the apartments here, setting himself up the dribble smoke if required. Doesn't have to commit to it. Just needs to land on the hay bales. Jump up on top, I've already seen it before. But he'll be waiting a while because he's just been smoked out himself. Bombs are down T steps. They're going for a pounce towards one of the looks of things here. Flusher should be alone towards B. But he has got a flash. And we'll see Nico, the AWP, waiting on the corner here. Should be a kill for him. Nails the jump and will get the tag.
They know he likes to linger in this smoke. Coldzera will continuously check it. Will not let Golden thread the needle and catch him off guard. But saying he won't doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Nico does tuck in on Nubox. Flusher's managed to commit towards B. They've changed their plan. Rain actually fell, I believe, to his own molly there. Have to double check that. JW got the assist. Nico, though, he's just sitting in the Nubox smoke, and Fnatic is coming for him. They will find him eventually. JW makes sure of that. AWP now in this kind of after plan, it could get scary if that bomb goes down uncontested, and it will. Flashes, all of the CTs are coming from CT, and JW's about to have an angel, and maybe some more than just one. Back into Nubox. Pressure on Flusher, not for much longer as he does win the duel.
Yikes, this one has fallen apart. The AWP chat is dead on. As soon as that's picked up in this sort of scenario, they are done for. Olaf Mice has a chance of pre-fire towards the pool position here, and he'll probably get this first kill, but then takes a lot of damage for it. Flashbang remains. He has no idea what JW is. He does think his new box is. You can see him panicking now, shrinking as the Glock we brought out to finish things off, and it will be 9 on the board for Fnatic. They don't even have to invest fully into that round, Chad, and they still pick it up.
Yeah, their money isn't great though. Look, Crims only has 3,300. Flusher, is that 3,950? Brolin 3,700, and Golden 3,250 to go into the last round. So JW will be able to drop across a gun, but their buy is very weak for the final round of this game. And I think that's, if you take a look at, ever since FaZe had those 2 1v1 scenarios, we had the defuse on the B side and then we had the defuse on the A side, I think it was, there were 1v1 situations. It's been very back and forth. These rounds have been close. Both teams are broken here in the final stages. 6 is the best that FaZe can do, and Nico, well, he wants it. He kicks it off with the opening onto Golden. Will take a nade for his troubles, but put away in the shroud of his own smoke. Much needed opening right here for FaZe. 6, it's not a great CT half by any means on Inferno, but it's serviceable.
It's enough. In a best of 3 like this, where some absolutely insane things have gone down, yes, absolutely enough. We'll see if Golden's death will lead them in the 6th round, boosting Rain up towards CT Spawn at this stage. Incendiary in hand, Pro getting smoked off as well. He pulls the trigger, there is a kill available to him. They drop everything they've got. Is this the full commitment from Fnatic? It definitely is, and the Mac-10 Molotov combo somehow comes out on top. There still is a sniper available here. Brokey, he does not nail in the shots today, and will have to pull back and wait for the rest of his teammates.
Yeah, you know, his teammates describe him as somewhat of a... That's a catch. Flasher, he might even get another. But they describe him like fallen. It's aggressive, warping through the smoke. That's exactly the kind of play you would expect from an AWPer of that caliber, an AWPer of that skill, but Brokey just didn't quite connect the shot this time. It is getting problematic. This is the last round of our last map's first half. Olaf and Brokey. Make it just Brokey. He does get met by the JW AWP, and he's been meeting a whole lot of people over the course of that first half. That was only the T side. More to come. Double knives. It's all coming in that last half of play. It comes down to one single half of Counter-Strike. After all of this, it culminates with one half.
A best of 0.5.
A best of 0.5. You're right, Henry. That's what we've got. We're into the decimals, and well, already FaZe Clan at quite a significant deficit. I want to get a quick read of the room. Anyone seen a FaZe lift the first win here?
It's feeling unlikely.
Yeah, okay, the sounds from your mouth, like tired horses.
Yeah, tired horses. Workhorses, perhaps, at this stage, considering the amount of time here. But we'll get into the second half. And FaZe, yeah, I feel like Fnatic will close it out, but honestly, it should be an epic finish, regardless of what happens.
Fingers crossed. Fast up with the flashes. Golden, so good. Just 2 taps of his USP, and for some reason, they have no idea about Roland.
They didn't clear Boiler at all, right? Their thought process was it was going to be a passive CT hold from Fnatic. One thing they didn't account for was all 3 Fnatic players playing Boiler Boiler.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame them for not thinking there's 2 Boiler, but Brolin with this spectacular third round before Brokey could even get around the corner. That's a very quick pistol round to get 11 on the board.
Yeah, and the odds here from GG.bet are illustrating the fact that it will be a tough task for FaZe Clan to get back in here, especially after losing the pistol. Now they've had to force buy in. They've spent almost all of their money. Nico is the only more than left, $150. The only extra thing he could have bought right there would have been a decoy. Necessary right now as they're doing a set piece onto A. This looks like the Mouse Sports strategy. Smoke towards Arch though, so I'm a little bit off there.
Yeah, not too far off though, because we for now are seeing an advance through middle off the flash of Nico. He's going to be getting that one in. Smoke towards Moto as well. Grim's just tucking in behind the corner. Coldzera was trying to check it, but woof! No issues for Flush's MP9. Crimsys has found good success as well. There is a bomb on the back of Nico, so he could have a pretty good shot at getting that bomb down. Look how passive Golden is set up on B. If Nico was to just strafe, or maybe even just take this fight with the counter strafe, it could be that bomb clump he needs.
Maybe.
Close. Very
good
close.
Effort. Can't ask more than that, but unfortunately for them, they're going to be asking for a lot more cash, because this is looking like a 13-5 all day long. They're not going to have enough to justify even a P250 at this stage.
Coldzera needs to step up now. It is the T sign. We'll most likely just see another partial investment.
I don't think we'll even get that this round.
They need to make sure that they just don't allow the CT's economy to bring too much. It will just be the full save.
Yeah, that's all you can do, because you get 2,900 next, you're going to need your utility in front of it. Otherwise, you're going to lose to these MP9s and FAMASs. You're going to get absolutely wrecked by them. So they're going to have to take the full eco here and hope they can maybe get some results. No revolvers yet, just to know that. I'm keeping a track of it.
Are you pleasantly surprised?
I'm a little disappointed, to be honest.
Okay.
I was kind of falling in love with the weapon.
Well, maybe you equip it tonight and you give it a bit of a.
Should I equip it tonight?
Don't.
Oh, let's have
You're going to tilt
Let's
yourself.
You're
You're going to be so mad. You're going to have, like, you'll have one round, you'll have an awkward situation with it, and it'll be like, I really need a deagle.
Hey,
can you drop me a deagle? Can someone drop me a deagle? Anybody.
I love the deagle. I can't ever do that. Why does it make it available to everyone? The slot system in CS doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
What if we change the starting pistol to the revolver?
Yeah, good idea.
And then you have to buy a Glock or a USB.
We'd still never see the revolver.
Pistol rounds would be so much fun, though.
We'd never see it.
Maybe instead of knife rounds, we do revolver rounds.
That's not a bad shot.
And you're only allowed to use the right click.
Right click only.
Is that the one where you just unload all 6 bullets?
It just does them really inaccurately. So they're like right next to you and you're in a smoke, that's when you use it. I don't know why I'm giving you advice in the RA. No one uses it for JW. But it does just fire the bullets really quickly, inaccurate.
Crunch moment. This is it. Right now, Fnatic are 3 rounds away from picking up the first win within stage 2. Hugely important here. If you can top the group, you go straight through to the grand final. Yeah, and not only that, but let me list the competition that they'd be going up against. Other than the win versus FaZe, FaZe, of course, versus Fnatic, you've got Mouse, OG, Na'Vi, Astralis rounding out this group. It is ridiculous, and therefore every victory holds a whole lot of weight in the outcome. And of course, an unreal route to the grand final bye. Top of the 16th round robin. Secure you a spot in the grand finals already. Bloodshed on Banana. Flush is pulling out the AWP. Don't get to see this one too often. He's already low. Brokey took some damage early as well. Feeling a half wall bag. I reckon we're going to go down and get Flush a reaction shot. Woo! Straight tags him. Brokey down to 13. Another body soon to be added to the kill totals of Fnatic. It certainly feels that way.
Brokey and Nico. Well, not much else to talk about here. Nico especially has been sim hacking by Flush's AWP. Less than a minute on the clock, 47 seconds to be exact at this stage, and we will have a bit of harsh activity. This is down to the individual chat. This is down to whether coldzera can find some of that magic on Inferno. He always had to back in the SK days. This is where he would shine.
Perfect weapon for the job here, but if that's going to take up all of his attention, maybe he wouldn't be ready for JW, but there it is. They're low on HP. And
B9 swing.
How is he so brave with that? Unbelievable stuff from Brolan. He is going to be checked, and oh wow, he actually gets both of them.
he's even going to get the Krieg.
Yeah, oh, that's going to sour the mood in the FaZe camp as you watch the Swedish star Krieger pull out his signature weapon for the CT side. It is inaccessible, can't buy it, have to steal it, and he has going into real crunch time for FaZe's T side. They lost the first map, by the way. Fnatic, this has happened again. I can't believe exactly what I said. And Mirage has happened again, where we weave this tale of, oh, well, they have to warm up into it, and Fnatic looking weak. And then I said I screamed Bolland's name by map 3. Well, it's happening again.
We're going to get a few opportunities here, I think, as FaZe. They need to go all in right now. Another fast approach towards top middle. Molotov to push people back from quad or segregate them under the porch. Smoke to isolate Arch, and now the pop flashes will come up middle. This is a quick take. They know they need to make it fast. There's only pistols and an Galil to work with.
Galil's not going to get them too far. Olaf's going to give it his best shot. And Nico Deagle is impressive and scary, though. And, ooh, one on the cross, met by Flusher. That's the bomb. He's even got both. It's just getting from bad to worse now. That should be 15 for Fnatic. No bomb. Olaf and Cold, it's fun to say.
Ito yung sasabi niya, sir.
Fun to play. So he's eliminating 2 players. Coldzera, however, clawing one back. And sketchy from Golden. Could cost him his life and his M4. Does well to take one out of the equation, and JW does do the final subtraction. 15 then to 5, and already just what matters hard. 6 rounds into our second half. We could very well be seeing the last round of our last half.
Well, it's 5-0 over Fnatic, so we will see them have the clean run so far. It looks like it's locked in chat. You'd say it's the best match of the year.
I did say that. I was tweeting it, I was on Instagram, you know, I've been on all the social media platforms.
I've enjoyed it, but I wouldn't say
rooftop.
that would be quite...
I think I got confused because the next game we have coming up is Astralis taking on RV.
That's maybe what happened.
Yeah.
Well, JW puts it back to a 4-4. That is going to be next. Astralis and RV.
Hindi pa na siya leader, sir. Hindi siya leader.
A 4-4 and C.
Okay lang. Against sa pin.
Hopefully give up with that. That's so good. Apparently they know exactly what it is. So we won't be able to do anything just yet.
Sir, aircon nito, sir.
Slowing down this stage. Not going in the corner here, but there is
Seeing it sound like
meron din pala rito. Ayos.
Does manage to just chip away at the FaZe health pool. A nice deploy should buy him some time, and his teammate time. You can see that Chris is still trying to make a decision as to whether he wants to rotate. JW has not asked for help. Roland is, though. Just ahead, Coldzera gets some contact on towards 8, and that's managed to equalise.
That's enough for those to change their bombs have to rotate. They clear top mid, and that's bad information. They both left the site.
Oh, wow. So knee-jerk reaction. Roland's going to head back in time, but he's kind of realised their mistake. And he has managed to at least get in the spot to contest the short cross, but wow! Brokey, that's an influential frag. He may very well have just won them the round.
I think he might have done. It was all down to that pick. And it was actually Brolan with the Krieg as well towards Library. They are going to save their weapons. Here's the scores so far. JW 22 and 10, Flusher with 19 there at the very top. Crim's quite showing from him.
What's up mga pare ko? Kumusta kayo dyan?
He's got the previous frag, we have 13 kills. Haven't been blown away by his performance today. I think his orbs, it's decent, but it's never going to be the conversation in the top 5 AWP.
Nico did compare him to that of Fallen, right? And you have to think about his AWPing career. He's now been put within a structured team as the primary AWPer, which is something that he's never been before.
So I understand it's taking time to build up.
Yeah,
like
when these younger AWPers arrive on the scene, you normally like this. Remember when Cirque first joined MLG.
Woxic's another one.
You see that you have that certain kind of like, characteristic, to their play. You can just see it. They'll go shows some raw skill there. Brokey, like I said, still an excellent, well-rounded player. Can use the rifle to an exceptional level as well. I just don't see him being like one of those crazy flashy orbers we'll be talking about and saying, oh, he's going to be the difference maker in this game.
Yeah, I think right now, probably the difference maker for that of FaZe, we highlighted how good coldzera can be. He hasn't shown up just yet, and NiKo yet to get a kill within this second half. So NiKo-Zera combo, one of them was good in the first half, the other yet to show up here on Inferno. They've given themselves a lifeline with that round right there, but still need another 9 on the trot just to get this one to overtime. It's a very, very tall task here. If JW finds the opening, coldzera goes down again. Olof takes a chunk of damage. FaZe needs some miracles.
Yeah. Do you believe in miracles, Chad? You sexy thing. Flusher does actually manage to find the frag with Olof's just with the flames alone. And Flusher perhaps going to find the necessary final frag. One more will do it. And Fnatic will not quite confirm it. Golden does, though. Trades it off. We have a victor in the opening match of Stage 2. The Swedes prevail versus the international superstars. 2-1. Fnatic do manage to prevail. A reverse sweep as the opening game for our second stage. ESL Pro League, it has got a stacked second stage, and Fnatic do manage to beat out a FaZe clan that we thought were coming in blazing hot, blistering form.
I didn't expect this at all. I thought Fnatic were going to pick up a map. I thought that was absolutely going to happen. With a third and final one there, Chad. Inferno, it's a good map for FaZe, we know that. But they didn't really seem to show up whatsoever. There was no one really leading the charge. Didn't feel like anyone was really kind of up for it. It was a very disappointing and flat performance from them.
Yeah, Nico's first half, I just want to quickly add the caveat. Nico's first half, respectively, he had a couple of hero moments, 17 frags, shutting down B, and then the second.
It's the gap that we were talking about just as we got into the game that got exploded on the first gun round that I think was the undoing for FaZe, because once you know that that's an option, then your whole game plan shifts around that. That's something that if they could have stopped within the first gun round, maybe we were looking at a completely different first half. But just some of the individuals there with plays where they would normally, step on up and at least get you, double digits. We're talking about coldzera. If we're going to sing his praises when he plays well, we have to sit here and say that wasn't a traditional coldzera Inferno performance. But for FaZe clan right now, look, Inferno was always going to be a difficult task. It's a map where if the flow gets going, like we saw from Fnatic, it's difficult to keep up with. And Fnatic, they entertained us, right? Not only did they play some good Counter-Strike, they played some funny Counter-Strike, and you have to thank JW.
I think we've managed to grab a couple of moments that perhaps could follow JW's statement where he said, "We are entertainers." They certainly were. Mountain Dew and Game Fuel post-match continuing to highlight some Revolver ridiculousness. Loved that one onto coldzera. Couldn't quite close out the clutch, but we had our fair share.
Look at him go! I forgot how many stupid moments there were in this game. He's got a double knife kill here as well. You've never seen anything like it. We've got to hype this one up because it was ridiculous. JW using the revolver and, of course, the knife time and time again and making it look easier, making them look like fools.
Now, that is just like, look, I want to put it from this perspective. If I had a teammate like that, right, and I was in a super serious match and we would take it and they were doing that, it might, because I'm a very serious guy when it comes to Counter-Strike, tilt me off the face of the earth. I don't know how the in-game leader from Fnatic deals with
I'm so glad you said that, Chad, because I'm about to ask him. Golden is going to join us in the studio, and of course, probably I would hope with a smile on his face after a win like that. Golden, congratulations. I hope you can hear us.
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's a big win up against FaZe. So first things first, playing on a team with JW, and you're seeing double knife kills, you're seeing the revolver on the CT side. Like, are you triggered? Be honest with me. Are you like kind of, are we taking this seriously, or do you just expect it at this point?
No, I think we're just like having fun while playing. The JW does JW things, and I think that's a thing we have known for years, and we can't just like, no one tells him to stop. That's when he has the most fun, that's when he plays the best.
Right. I've heard that twice now. Samuelson said the same thing, JW doing JW things. Look, we've always known that with him as a type of player here, but having him come in today with Flusher, that duo, do they take a little bit extra in knowing they're going up against Olaf Meister?
No, I wouldn't say that. I think we play our game, and we know how Olaf Meister plays sometimes.
I wanted to ask you, Golden, a little bit about Overpass, because from my Counter-Strike brain, it's hard to understand how you go from being 16-2 versus the Ninjas to confidently picking it up versus FaZe clan in less than 12 hours difference between those two matches. Could you help me understand that a little bit?
Talk through Overpass today, what happened on the CT side against MIP, and we said we know we can fix these issues, and yeah. We are confident on any map, I would say. Sometimes we just need to chill down, talk about it, and then it doesn't really matter how much we lose.
Because I just wanted to ask a follow-up regarding your Overpass. We saw your CT mid moves happening, again. I thought that NIP might have dissuaded you from that because we saw it so often, your aggressions towards Fountain early being, shut down. What gives you the confidence to go for it again when already the answer on how to beat them was out there?
Well, it was more of like we overstayed our welcome against an IP, I would say. And this time played differently, and we had that in mind. And I think we were just like the starting of our CT side was just not good against an IP, and that gave them more momentum. And them hitting shots was a big factor.
All right, well, you said you're feeling good on all the maps, mate. Tomorrow you have to play Astralis, is the first game of the day. You're probably going to have to play either Nuke or Vertigo. You feeling confident on those against Astralis?
Yes, on any map. It doesn't change much which map they pick. if we look at the pattern here, we're losing all the first matches.
So it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah, we still can't understand that one. We try and explain it on the desks, but Fnatic, we describe you as having to kind of have their cage rattled.
It's like you got Fnatic and Zombie Fnatic. It's kind of like, that's all we've got. We've got two different versions, and they'll have to bounce back. And you always seem to, so it's fine. And it keeps things interesting and fun.
Honestly, don't know what it is, but it's something that we just want. This is the first, win the rest.
I'm sure it's going to do wonders for your confidence if you've got this idea at the back of your head that, well, when we lose the first map, we win the series. That's going to do a lot for your players' confidence when you start losing the first map. It's like, oh, sweet, we're winning the series. Sure. Nice one. Golden, thank you very much, man. Congratulations. Cheers. That's awesome. And that was, of course, in-game leader of Fnatic. He has returned to his throne, and they pick up quite the win. The start for Fnatic they would have hoped for, considering they were in the play-in. They didn't get the bye, and they come in firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, on most of the maps, to be fair, which is the most important factor here. Not all of them. Yeah, Golden, for me, a great in-game leader of this squad. Remember, coming from the academy team, he hasn't even been a pro for that amount of time, and now they're just rising once again, surging through, and looking like a Counter-Strike world-class team.
You have to be very happy with how that one went on down if you are Fnatic there, and the fact that they do continue to lose the opening and then bounce on back, that storyline, we're going to have to keep monitoring it. As you heard me just say, it will be Australia's Fnatic tomorrow. That's probably the biggest or hardest matchup. Actually, what am I talking about? Navi's in the group as well here, but those two teams that I've just named are going up toe-to-toe next. Navi versus Astralis, not far away.
And it looks like already quite the fan has joined us, a bit of a Navi diehard.
Navi Nation?
Yeah, so I'm like, you know, black and yellow all over. I got the Navi jersey.
You gonna sing the song?
No, but shout out Wiz one time. So, guys, like the matchup you just had, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we aren't really so certain about what happened to FaZe Clan on our third map, and nothing but net. Nice. They can't see that, but I'll tell you that I actually went into the cardboard box. Trace, Astralis Navi, you must be pretty ecstatic to be seeing these guys back in the ring.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited, especially after the last time we saw them in Katowice. You know, we're talking like back-to-back 16-5s. That was not a
When was
great
that? Like, when was Katowice dates-wise?
29th of the 2nd that match was.
Feels like
So
2000.
it hasn't been that long.
No, it hasn't been that long, and as Trace was just pointing out there, those 16-5 victories were the worst best-of-3 losses on land Astralis had ever had.
Redemption, vindication,
Something.
I mean, okay, genuine question. Are you expecting to see the Navi of Katowice or the Navi online losing their first opening 2 matches?
Probably a little bit of that online stuff. Yeah, I mean, it is online, right? So
That's true, but they have, of course, been able to turn it around recently. They managed to go for a 3-game winning streak just to get to this point, of course, topping their group. And, well, this fella, Harry, Hugo, are going to be bringing all the action.
One final question. Who would win in a fight to the death between Harry and Hugo?
We did discuss this
last night. We talked about this last night.
I would love to hear your rationale, but obviously when I think about it, Harry has much bigger fists. And albeit Hugo has small hands, but Harry's got big fists.
If I studied.
I picture Hugo, though. Imagine like a preppy British school. I know you can picture these guys were at they can't picture it. They were actually there.
Yeah, that was them.
Yeah, and they're wearing like the old-timey shorts, and they're learning how to box like this.
That's Hugo. We're just like, oh, jolly good. Oh, bother. Oh, dearing me.
I'm playing Quidditch on the back.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Hugo's going, no, come on.
That's
put
the
your
one.
jukes up.
Oh, put your jukes up. Oh, I'll have you. Oh, okay.
That's what I see with Hugo.
All right.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah.
I still have to side with Harry's big fellas.
You're right.
All right, well, coming up after the break, it's a fight to the death. Harry and Hugo will be brawling live, as well as Astralis Navi, when we return with this guy and those two clowns.
shop.eslgaming.com.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to CS.com. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Everybody loves an underdog. Who needs to be liked?
Mountain Dew and Game Fuel. Victory in a can. Charge up your game with excitement. Highest odds on the market. Take what's rightfully yours with GG.bet.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Love.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, or I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Intel, Gaming Malta, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, CS Money, MSI, Air Force, GG Bet, and ESEA.
Astralis and Na'Vi going at it again in a rematch from something that was rather one-sided at the Intel Extreme Masters Katowice not entirely too long ago. In fact, according to Chad, and probably per the numbers as well, the most blowout win that has ever been taken over Astralis. Now, I do have Harry and Hugo, and they're going to talk about blowouts too, and some wins at that.
Yeah, I mean, 10 rounds in an entire best-of-3 series for what was the best team in the world across all of 2019. Undoubtedly, Astralis put to the test Trace. Na'Vi took that win back in Katowice. Of course, we got the rematch. It's been a long time coming. Na'Vi had a great year so far. They didn't even just do this at Katowice as well, of course, in the semi-finals. They did it back in Blast London. They won a best-of-3 there, grouping Astralis 0-2. So Astralis had a bit of a rocky opening to this year, but they're looking to fight back.
Yeah, and Harry, we look at this matchup from a surface level, and there's a lot of moving parts here, right? We're talking about the firepower on both sides, what's being brought to the table today, and of course, with the confines of playing online, how that affects both teams.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? We've seen like the trials and tribulations of online play for a lot of these top teams coming into the Pro League, right? It hasn't been an easy path for a lot of them. And that was kind of the case of both of these, right? There was a chance at one point that Na'Vi didn't even get through the groups. Like that was a very real worry off of their first few days of results. And then they were able to turn everything around. But we had that Dust 2 game where Simple drops, what, 54 kills, and they still end up losing that series. So yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? With Na'Vi, I think it's going to depend a lot on what kind of version of them shows up today, because they really brought it full circle by the end of the Pro League and started to look more like the Na'Vi team that we had back at Kato. But I still don't think it was like a one-to-one comparison.
Right. I can see that. I can also see where Astralis have quite a bit to say before we jump into this matchup, and it's going to be Dupree that leads us to the water.
I think the overall performance in Katowice was very pleasing for us in most of the tournament, especially throughout the group stage where we went undefeated. We played extremely well as individuals, but also as a team, and it just felt like after the pool performance in London at Blast Premier, it just felt like we were back on track. Everything was working out the way we were supposed to. The preparation was working really well, and everyone was feeling the game. So for me, it felt like we were back in the eras of 18 and mid-19, where everything just seemed to be working out really great for us. And then all of a sudden in the semi-final, it just felt like something changed. I'm not particularly sure what it was, but now we just played out of their minds, and we couldn't find our feet in the game. And overall, they just played a lot better than us, and it just felt like they knew exactly what to do against us in all situations. So it was really hard to play against, and yeah, we bombed out of the tournament in a horrible way. And it was a sad moment, because it felt like we had everything under control going into the semi-final, and then just lost without actually feeling we could have fight. I think I see the team right now in a place where we perform pretty good when we obviously play good, but at the same time we have, I wouldn't say individual struggles or team struggles. It's more of a thing where the game right now is in a kind of a different place. The meta of the game has changed a lot, and the way that, and the fact that we can't play on LAN that we usually do is a little bit different. So I'd say that I still see the team being able to compete at the highest level, but we've seen better days from Astralis, but at the same time I feel like we are still doing pretty good. So moving on to EPL, I think it's really important for us to have a good result. Obviously now it has changed in the way that it's getting played online and not on Malta as we all expected and hoped for. So I mean, it's a different situation, so you also have to put up some other expectations. I think there's a lot of teams that are going into the type of tournament now that is online with a lot more experience in some way of playing online tournaments and playing qualifiers than the top tier teams has. I don't think we've played an online tournament or online qualifier in like 2 years, so it's kind of different for us to put up another mindset. But it's something we've done before, and it's all about just keeping the spirits high as we've done throughout the last couple of months, and just focusing on one match at a time. And hopefully we'll just go as far, and we'll see where everything ends. I mean, if we end up playing online for the next couple of months, this is just the beginning, so we might as well get and hope for a good start. But I'm confident that we will have a good tournament. Just want to say a massive thank you to all of you watching at home. I know the situation is really tough, and it's not only tough for you guys, but it's also tough for everyone else. So you need to try and stay positive, and it's really great to feel that everyone is still supporting the scene and supporting the game in such a manner that we can see on the current viewer numbers on the stream. It's really amazing to see that we're breaking records day after day. So keep it up, and thank you so much for the support, and just stay safe out there, and hopefully everything will turn out good, and we'll see you on the other side.
Dupree with the well wishes, and of course they're going to have to wish well for themselves pairing up against Na'Vi in this matchup, in this best of 3. There's a lot of things to discuss. As we said before, when these two teams matched up in Katowice, well, it was a rather one-sided showing, and Na'Vi actually had their way with the Danes. So on the back of that, what do we learn?
Man, I mean, these two teams have always had like a very back and forth history, right? It's always felt like Na'Vi were kind of the bridesmaid, but never the bride, right? They never had like this established era in the same way that Astralis did. And it feels like as we maybe got to where the Na'Vi era was about to happen, obviously, you know, everything kind of switched over into the online world. So maybe a bit of like an unfortunate timing for Na'Vi in that sense. But I think that makes this matchup that much more important, right? Because they're looking to keep themselves as like the established dominant team over Astralis. You know, they're trying to keep that run from Katowice going here in the Pro League.
If they can get a third win on the notch here as well, you talk about online, of course that is, you know, not the best case scenario for Na'Vi, but I feel like somewhat this has affected Astralis as well. We saw them on the opening day falling to NIP. They were a slow starter into this group. They did manage to recover, ending it top, of course, in Group A and going straight through to Stage 2, as Na'Vi did, who also went 0-2 in the opening few days. So it's kind of cool that we have similar storylines paralleled between these two teams. You know, slow starts, warming into online. And I mean, for Na'Vi, for example, their last online game before this season was 3 seasons ago, 2 years ago, back in 2018. So yeah, the pressure's on, but if they can find their third best of 3 victory in a row this year, that would really start to solidify things for Na'Vi in 2020.
Well, just in 2020, as we've said, these teams have paired up before. We're going to take a look at the maps and the vetoes and really how all that broke down here real quick. This is not the actual veto for this best of 3, but we do want to show a sort of comparison, if you will, between the two vetoes and how this one could shape up. If you look here, Na'Vi picked us 2, Astralis Nuke. Well, don't worry, Train didn't even matter in that case. We're talking about 5 rounds over there for the side of Astralis on 2 different maps individually. So really and truly, when we look at this veto, are we expecting a little of the same?
I think Na'Vi are surely going to go back with Dust 2 here, but I'd be surprised if Astralis jump back into Nuke, right? I feel like this is a good time for them to have looked back at that game and maybe just completely throw a curveball the way of Na'Vi, switch things up, pick a different map. We know Astralis have a deep map pool. We know they're capable pretty much anywhere. So yeah, try and take something, take a new stride here rather than go back to what didn't work.
Well, I know what does work, and there's a man that's working constantly around the clock to make sure that his game is his A game. We do have that of Simple joining us in the studio. It is rather a joyous occasion to see you there, Simple. What's up, my friend?
Can you see me now? Hello?
Yeah. Yes, sir. What are you drinking on?
Sup, fellas. I did coffee already, you know?
Okay.
Prepared coffee to prepare before game.
A little
How
bit
are you guys?
A little bit of coffee.
How to see you?
I think you have to open the browser.
See you now. Oh, hello, guys.
Hey, man. So Simple. So is it coffee and Ninja Sushi that really gets the day going, or like what happens
Yeah,
here?
the Ninja Sushi is very good, but just coffee. Yeah, just preparing, doing good preparation, discuss maps, so we knew what they're gonna pick and what they're gonna wither, and just warm up already. So just waiting for game.
Simple. I got a question on your individual performance, right? Being the best player in the world, you feel like all eyes are on you, and tendencies from other teams, or tendencies that you make, other teams might realize. How do you stay fresh as a player and stay unpredictable to keep people on their toes?
I don't know. I always think about where my favorite position can be, and I'm always changing it every time when I'm doing some good game with my team. I'm trying to see where I did the most impact and just try and to change my play style, because I understand that people watch how I counter them with all, but still I have no pressure, only because I have just very good teammates now who can easily get all the skills, you know. So I just I don't know, just focusing more. I just understand that the op role should do more than anyone else, and I'm just focusing on my own role.
Simple. I saw in an interview you did with HLTV that you mentioned that you guys have a psychologist that you talk to during things like boot camps and whatnot. They help you with your mental preparation ahead of the game. I'm wondering, you know, is there any of that having gone into this Astralis game, or are you guys just kind of freestyling it? And what like advantages do you think having a psychologist brings in?
I think he just focus you more outside of the game, just to think more only about games and any other thing, especially when you're home, because it's more harder to create this group where you see each other. But we keep doing it. We had a good psychologist lesson today, so yeah, just helping us to focus more, to see each other, to feel each other, and just prepare much better.
So, Simple, last time we saw you taking on Astralis, this was in Katowice. It was that you showed up and Navi showed up. But Astralis, they really weren't there. Are you expecting sort of the same thing today, even though we are online?
No, I mean, I expect, every time I expect a very good game from Astralis. I think our team focused much more on Astralis than any other team, because there's the guys who did something that nobody did before, so we just want to try to do more, and we understand it's our third game against them past 2 or 3 months. We just take this as another experience, because it's online games, nobody knows what can happen. It doesn't matter if we win, lose, we still can qualify to play semis for spot and final. We can fix our mistakes. It's much easier online, like coach can help, so there's some more advantage to any team.
Now, Simple, we look at the ESL World Rankings. You find yourself at #1. We put Mousesports a little bit behind that, and then Astralis. How competitive or how close are the top 3 teams?
I mean, I'm not sure right now, because unfortunately there's no LAN events now, and everyone's trying to change the approach to these online games. It's something new, you know, because we didn't play like 1.5 or 2 years online, and we're just trying, I don't know, just trying to get as many games as we can, just trying to prepare much better. I understand that Mousesports is a good contender as well, and they had chance to get this top 1 because they won so many events before we had Perfecto, but still, yeah, just anyone can beat anyone these days, especially online.
Which is a crazy scene. It's a crazy thing going on around here. A couple things have been brought to attention here. You're drinking coffee with a straw. How did you get to that point in life?
I don't know. It's straw for one use, you know. So I'm more ecologic. So I just throw it away. But yeah, I don't know, man. What kind of question is this?
I feel like the people needed to know that, Simple. The people needed to know. Speaking of the people...
It's just nice. It's nice. It's small drinks, so you don't need to drink a lot. You're full. You're always full when you drink coffee, and you just enjoy it.
Yeah, that's
Same
nice.
with cocktails and all of this stuff.
Hey, you got a point there. I might have to try to give that a go as myself. You know, Simple, last one I want to ask you is this, and there are a lot of Navi fans around the world. There's a lot of fans that are tuning in for this hot match. What do you say to everyone around the world supporting Navi?
I would say just stay home and cheer for your favorite team. But stay home at the beginning, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, thank you so much for your time, Simple. We got to start this match,
Thank you, guys.
See you around.
See you.
All right, so we finally got to the bottom of the mystery. That was Simple drinking coffee with a straw.
Yeah, he owned you, Trace. I'm sorry.
I would say that he owned me.
I mean, he put you on the spot. You know, you don't get that every day. Trace feeling nervous.
Man,
I'm not nervous. That guy right there, that guy gets it.
Yeah,
we understand each other.
Dude, I love his Simple interview. Like he's so like cheery, just brings a great energy, and he's also like quite honest about like what's going on within the team, and that's what you like to hear. There's nothing worse than when you get like the very well like media trained dancers,
hitting our shots with
you know, it's a slow build up back to the top.
We'll warm up.
Yeah, you know, we'll try.
Yeah.
We want the hard hitting real stuff, and that's what Simple is good at providing, not just in the interviews but also in the server. Yeah. Obviously he's going to be one of our guys to keep an eye on in this series. I mean, that just feels like a pointless statement to make.
I mean, but it needs to be driven home. And of course, if you are just joining us, this is the ESL Pro League Season 11, and you have joined at a very pivotal time. I'm going to go on record here to say that this is one of the most exciting, if not the most exciting matchup that we've had this entire season, and we get to see it here in Stage 2. We can take a look at the numbers. They're probably going to back that up a little bit. Simple, 302 to 203 in the season. Good grief.
Yeah, I mean, he's a tank, he's a legend, and he's a top performer when it comes to the stats this entire season over in the European side of things, so it's no surprise to see him there.
Although, important to realize that while Simple finds himself top of the standings in the Pro League, Perfecto finds himself actually right down at the bottom. He's in second to last place right now. So that's something that maybe is an interesting thing to look at, because when you take a look at Astralis, 3 of their 5 players find themselves in the top 10. That's Zipnik's, Device, and Dupree. So on the team side of things, Astralis looking like they're in a great spot. Navi, I think a lot of this is going to fall onto Simple's shoulders.
Yeah, and to talk about that Perfecto thing as well, I feel like, you know, he's a really interesting talking point, because it's not like Navi pulled him into this roster to be that star player, to be that high fragger. He just holds his own and he plays his position. So I think Kato was such a good example. That Nuke game where he just doesn't die on the CT side because Simple and Electronic are killing everyone. He's just playing top side, going like 4-0 at the end of the half because he's playing his role. He's surviving to the end. And also, one thing that Perfecto has that people are sleeping on, his one-on-one clutch stats are incredible. He closes out so many of those one-on-ones. So if you do see Simple and Electronic falter, if you do see Perfecto left in those difficult situations, more often than not, he does come out top. So that's probably why Navi pulled him up.
Well, this is actually something that Simple spoke about in an interview. I was reading about it. It was over on HLTV, and it was after that game on Katowice. He actually went in depth, and he just said that when you've got Boomich, you know, like dropping 25 kills, smiling away, and the rest of the gang are all having a great time, Simple just feels so free to make these big plays. And then for someone like Perfecto, who they do just have like locked as this role player, right? He's just not getting into the action. He's just not seeing anyone. And you know, that's why the numbers maybe aren't there for him. Simple actually went quite in depth on that and said how he still feels this is the best iteration of Na'Vi that's existed.
And you can see it on their faces. They're smiling, they're enjoying themselves. And I feel like that's something we've said time and time again, but I don't know that many people are able to take note of that because they don't have that close proximity that we do, and what they can see on the screen is obviously what the players choose to show them. So that's a whole thing by itself. But yes, this lineup looks very productive. It looks like it's going places and even further than it is right now.
Yeah, undoubtedly. I mean, you know, obviously, like Simple said, it's unfortunate with the situation we're in. We don't have LAN tournaments right now. You can't really ever fully decide who's the best, but this is going to be a great example to see how things stack up in 2020. Are Na'Vi going to keep up their performance, or do Astralis want to regain their throne?
Yeah, we're going to have to keep our eyes on the prize, but for now, the prize is the map vetoes for this series. Again, one best of 3 will be determining out of these 2 teams, at least in my mind, who's the favorite going forward in this event.
Standard bans coming through. These are the same ones we saw back at Katowice, and Astralis going straight for the Inferno pick. I like that. You know, not going to Nuke. It didn't work out for them. Na'Vi have been really, really good on Nuke as of late. Na'Vi going to go right back in for Dust 2. Unsurprising. It's what we saw back at Kato. Remember that game. 2 16-5s to Na'Vi over on Dust 2 and Nuke. So Astralis avoiding that. I imagine they'll throw it in as their second ban. There it is. And that leaves just 1 left.
So we go to that same third map. It's Astralis changing things up there with the Inferno pick. Now you almost wonder if Na'Vi are going to be entirely ready for this. I think, you know, you would have to be expecting that there's a chance they don't go with their usual comfort pick of Nuke after the last time we saw these 2 teams face. I think the Dust 2 pick from Na'Vi is where things get interesting, because as we've seen and as we've heard, when you win a game, especially dominantly, right, it can be hard to learn from that and continue to improve. Whereas Astralis, you know, they are going to have a very lined out strategy of how to approach this Na'Vi squad. With that said though, something that Simple and Electronic have both put a lot of emphasis on in interviews is saying how heading into these matchups versus teams like Astralis, Blade and Boomich take some time and they just change, you know, they literally say 2 or 3 small details, but that makes all the difference because suddenly if you're Astralis, you've prepped, you've prepared for Na'Vi to play a certain way, and Na'Vi have preemptively changed that ahead of the time. And that's something that Astralis were kind of known for as well, right? These guys have always been innovating, always been building, and Na'Vi now following in that same vein.
Yeah, I mean, Na'Vi are going to have a tough time playing a 5-on-6 right now, considering, you know, S-tags here as well. Obviously not. But I think one point Simple made is kind of interesting as well. It maybe slipped under the radar. He talked about the fact that this is online and everything's different. Everyone plays differently, but also Blade can have more input. And that's something that, you know, when we see it on the LAN stage, that isn't really a thing. You know, your coach can't interact with your players while you're during a live round. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that anyone's doing that, but it is certainly possible, and so that's something that has to be taken into account. But something else that has to be taken into account is Trace over on the Telestrator.
Yeah, that's all of us really over here on the Telestrator. Now, you're talking about you're not saying, don't worry, Simple said it for us, and they're going to be doing that, I'm sure of it. And I'm sure they're not the only team they're in. Now, what we have identified here is a couple of categories for you to watch out on as we jump into this matchup. We got player to watch, playmaker, 200 IQ IGL, which is the in-game leader if you're just joining us for the first time, the AWPer, and then the coveted who is better. Now this one is where things get a little dicey, but shall we begin here? Let's go with the side of AWP players, and let's start right there with both Simple and Device. Guys, who are we selecting here?
Oh, I mean, well, this is such a close head-to-head, right? These are the two players that are tied, or not tied, rather, but like fighting for the most MVPs in Counter-Strike. Simple's in second. I think he's on 11 after Katowice, and Device finds himself on 15. So these guys have been like neck and neck. You know, they are fighting.
Just to jump on that point really quickly, the coolest thing about that is Astralis have won way more championships than Na'Vi, so that's Simple getting a lot of MVPs while not necessarily even winning the tournament. But yeah,
most recent time that would have happened for Na'Vi would have been the Ice Bet Challenge, right, where Electronic stole it away despite not winning the event. However, who do I think is better in this one? Oh, I don't know, Trace. I really don't know.
That's not an answer.
Let's just be very simple about things. I mean, the numbers don't lie, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. That's the way it's got to be, I think. I'm going to select Simple here for an Opera. Now, let's continue on a little bit in playmakers. I'm going to go with Electronic, and I'm going to go with that of Zipex over here. Now, guys, talk to me a little bit about this head-to-head.
I mean, a clutch king on the side of Zipex, but I honestly, I kind of want to select Electronic. You know, I'm leaning towards Na'Vi in this series, which is kind of crazy to believe considering how things have gone. Obviously, both teams being slow starters in the group. But yeah, I mean, you know, considering a Nuke isn't here, that's kind of sad. I really wanted to watch Electronic down in that secret position. He has really been making a name for himself down in that spot as of late. But yeah, I'm going to go with Electronic, Trace. I think it's a safe bet.
Harry, what do you think? You going Electronic as well?
Oh, no.
Of course not.
Split down the middle.
Yeah.
Split right down the middle, and I'm going to go with Electronic, though. I mean, that's 2-1. That's not really split down the middle. I don't know what kind of math these guys are teaching over in England for an 8-7 to be split down the middle. That's a whole different problem. That's a whole different ballgame. Now, we can begin to talk a little bit about IGLs. What is this man doing for the Na'Vi line? What is Boomich doing for the Na'Vi line?
I think what's kind of cool about Boomich is, you know, this guy has not played at this level before Na'Vi. He joins this roster, you know, after experience playing in the likes of, you know, QBF for a while, and then, you know, blows everyone out of the water with you know, not lacking experience, but just having the ability to manage Simple and manage his team. And I think that's, you know, credit on its own, even if you take away from the results. The fact that he's making these this roster look good and still performing and fragging on the server while doing it is awesome.
So what I have to do here is highlight just one more player. My player to watch is going to be that of Flamey. He's going to pop off, don't worry. I think, though, moment of truth, guys, Na'Vi or Astralis, who's walking away with it?
Harry?
Oh, I mean, my heart says Na'Vi, but my head says Astralis.
Nice. I'm splitting the desk.
And what do you?
Na'Vi.
Now, how you really splitting the desk? Because I'm also gonna go for Na'Vi. I really do think that they have what it takes. In fact, they might be on fire. We don't know. We'll put them all at top down there. And we'll also jump into the first map of this series. All 100,000 of you patrons inside of our Twitch chat are welcome to join us as we go on this adventure that is the best of 3 of Astralis versus Not as Sincere for the ESL Pro League Season 11, our hot match of the day. And moreover, the hot match of the tournament thus far to some. We're gonna be looking at this map in depth, and that's gonna be Inferno. CT sided start for Na'Vi. We're gonna have Dust 2 after that, and then a little bit of train action. So all in all, I think we've got a pretty well-rounded best of 3, but it really does all come down to who's hitting their shots in the circle.
And who's playing their game, Trace, because that is, at the end of the day, the online situation. But yeah, I really hope this one goes to 3, regardless of the victor. I mean, I don't care who wins at the end of the day. I just want great Counter-Strike, and I'm sure these 2 teams are going to provide that. If we go to a 3rd, we get trained the map that we didn't get to see back in Katowice. We got robbed of a series there, Harry. While it was entertaining, Na'Vi looking incredible, I wanted more, and I think this is where we're going to get more.
Yeah, it certainly could be, and this is also where we get to see if maybe Inferno should have been the pick for Astralis all along, you know, letting Nuke slip on through back there, actually picking into it rather, and it obviously didn't go their way, so they're going to try their luck on Inferno, which used to be, you know, one of their signature maps as well. If there ever was a map I think they could bring the heat on alongside Nuke, it is this one.
And it's all there. It's all laid out for us. The groundwork is there. The railroad has been laid for us to go ahead and take this train on into the station. And by that, I mean getting this best of 3 underway across the first map. I want to know who you've got in this series, and I want you to do that by telling me via hashtag ESL Pro League, EPL Mailbag, whatever you want. Just pick a hashtag, show us what you got. And also, your memes are certainly welcome here on the desk. That's hashtag EPL Meme Review. Now, if you can do something a little bit of Na'Vi and Astralis, my goodness, I don't know if I could ask for much more. The Krieg ones really let me down, so perhaps there's another chance here for you guys. And on that note, you heard the music, you know what's about to happen, you know we're about to get in this game, you know that it's time to go live on 3. Within the first map of the server, Inferno, Dust 2. If we need it, train. Last time, if history's teaching us anything, we don't need train.
Hey, but you know, history doesn't always repeat itself, Trey. Sometimes things will change, and right now Astralis are looking for change. They may have started slow in their group, but they did go 4-1 up in the Group A, and now here for ESL Pro League Season 11, Stage 2. The round-robin group left with 6 of the best teams in Europe, and we're going to see who is number 1.
Numero uno.
For short. For long.
Here we are. Thank you all for joining us here on this awesome Sunday, April the 5th. Currently 6:22 local, but it's live on 3 time now. Here we go.
Heavy B setup for Na'Vi. They are 4 players in that site to start. Some utility on Perfecto and Astralis. They're going to be pushing the perimeter. They're pushing up the banana. Na'Vi setup looks to be the right call to make for the time being. Still defaulting players on alert for Astralis, but Electronic is jiggling while Boomic goes aggressive. That's a big peek and no flash behind him. He finds so much damage. Still no kill going down. No man wants to be the first to die, but someone has to.
This is a wild beginning to a game. My word, Boomic just sprays into the crowd down on banana. And Astralis, like, yeah, they've kept it 5-on-5, but they are the walking wounded right now. They get out in towards top mid. Na'Vi start this early rotation. Simple. The man to try and hold down the fort, and he gets brought down at just 1 point of health. Finished off by Xyp9x, and all the kills right now coming up in favor of Astralis. Now, for Na'Vi, this is pretty devastating. This 2-on-4 doesn't feel impossible when you look at the HP on Astralis, but Na'Vi slowing the retake. Flamey coming up through old mid, and with Dupree lying in wait over here in the apartments. He is the man dedicated to locking down this flank, so this should make it very tricky, but it's down to the 2-on-2, and now Device, who was lit up earlier on, has to try and hold his ground up in the graveyard. He gets toppled. Xyp9x now 1v2 down in the pit, but we know this man knows a thing or two about clutching, and he gets him off the bomb. Astralis take themselves the pistol round, and it's 3 kills from Xyp9x to get them there.
Well, maybe we picked the wrong clutcher for this series, Trace. Already things coming to fruition for Astralis, but yeah, nice call. They spot the heavy B setup from Na'Vi. Na'Vi delayed on the rotation. They see the bomb and B, and I think that holds them on for so long, but Astralis have players in ult, setting up moto smokes and getting deep within apartments to commit to that A site. Na'Vi were caught in rotation with only 1 man inside of A, and now it's going to be Astralis finding the first. Big force buy for Na'Vi up against the Mac-10s of Astralis with only a solo rifle, not wanting to, of course, give away guns to what could be a successful CT4. Simple's got to run back. He's being chased, hounded down by the UMP. Grenade is excellent for Na'Vi. We talk about Astralis' utility damage, but already in the first 2 rounds, we're seeing excellent utility from Na'Vi. Will that continue? You can only hope.
Boomic and CZ in the last round was able to do a hell of a lot. Can it deliver here from up atop the half wall? It will certainly deal with the first man. Device drop Boomic. Oh, just trying to get away. And he will get back into the site. The flashes go over, but Magisk isn't able to get the kill. Boomic keeps Na'Vi a man up, and he's able to retreat. Gives this another go and gets some damage off onto Magisk, but not quite the kill. Bomb plant now found for Astralis, and with this bomb down, Na'Vi gonna have a hard